Today's podcast is brought to you by Visa. With the capacity to process over 65,000 transaction messages every second, Visa has been bringing innovations to the way we pay for over 60 years. Imagine a world where instead of just tapping to pay with your Visa, you had to wait for everyone in front of you to cut a check everywhere you went. Imagine how much fun it'd be trying to track down your cousin in Milwaukee for league dues. That's why Visa's vision is to be the best way to pay and be paid everywhere, so you won't have to. Whatever your goals are, Visa makes paying fast and easy. The only thing left to figure out is, where would you like to be? Visa, everywhere you want to be. Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning.
Yeah. Congratulations to the Lakers. They won the NBA championship last night. Parade is this afternoon. They beat Long Beach State last night at State. Was it Long Beach State or no? Maybe it was USC.
Is that what you tell me?
I don't remember.
When I tell you Dak only threw for this many yards against this team, or is that an NFL team? Do the Memphis play in the NBA?
I'm not sure.
Oh,
I think they're in the G League this year. I'm not sure.
Boy, that unibrow.
Way to go. He won the MVP last night.
It's happening.
Way to go.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, he got skunked in the fourth quarter again because he didn't have to play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Way to
They
go.
should have let him get like 50 and 30.
Okay. Well, here we go. Way to go.
We have an absolutely packed show today. How impressive was Anthony Davis's historic night?
Historic.
Pretty impressive. And do the guys agree that Aaron Rodgers should be the MVP favorite? Not so sure they will agree there. We are going to start with the Cowboys. The NFL trade deadline came and went yesterday, and despite several rumors, no major trades occurred. According to one report, the Cowboys pursued Jets safety Jamal Adams up until the last minute. Dallas was willing to give up a first-round pick for the Pro Bowl safety, but that wasn't enough for the Jets. Adams, who is originally from Texas, denied reports that he requested to be traded to the Cowboys. So, Shannon, should Jerry have offered more than what was reported?
No. I thought Jerry offering a first-round pick is a lot for a safety, Skip. And it's being reported they wanted a Khalil Mack type deal. Khalil Mack? Not for a safety. Skip, it's been reported that Jerry offered something like a first and a fourth. But they wanted a first, 2 seconds, and some compensation in 2021. The only D safeties that I would even consider doing that for in their prime, and I'm talking about the last decade, is Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu.
Yep.
Those what we would call difference makers, Skip. You must account, okay, where are they? Because if you don't, they're going to take the ball from you and they're going to put it in the end zone. So for Jerry that says, okay, yeah, I'm willing to give you a first rounder. Yes, I'm willing to give you a fourth rounder. But I know what the Jets were thinking, Skip. They're like, hold on. We think you guys are going to be in the playoffs. So that first rounder is not going to be that high. So we're going to try to maximize as much as we can out of you and squeeze you a little bit because we know that Jamal Adams is better than Jeff Heath, and you want to upgrade that position. We get that. But Jerry says, I'm not a fool. No, Skip, no, not that. I get it, Jets. You're trying to look, it looks like you guys are about to go into tank mode. Because you're trying to shop some of everybody. You tried to shop Le'Veon and you tried to shop Jamal Adams even after he told you he wanted to be there, if you to believe what he said on social media. Skip, but no, that's asking an awful lot. For a safety, normally the reason why Khalil Mack, Skip, is because what? Khalil Mack got traded, I think, on a Sunday or a Monday. He played that next Monday because you know what, Skip? Go get your quarterback. Don't worry about the coverage. Just line up right or left and go attack the quarterback. But you can't do that with a safety. Okay, just line up in the hole and just flow. No. He needs to understand schemes. And normally you give up that kind of compensation for guys that attack the quarterback, the guys that are pass rushers.
Yep.
Now, if somebody said, okay, we'll give you 2 first rounders and a second rounder for Aaron Donald, okay, yeah, people will give that up, but not for a safety, Skip. Not for a guy, and I think Jamal Adams is a top 4 or 5 safety in all of football. He's more of a box safety than in the hole safety. But to give up what the Jets were asking, if that's to be believed, which is if it's true, a first rounder, 2 seconds, and even maybe compensation later, nah, Skip, that's too much. I think Jerry was right to hold on. Jeff Heath is not a difference maker, but he's solid, Skip. He's going to be where he's supposed to be. He doesn't take the ball away, and I get it. Jerry was trying to upgrade because they don't really take the ball away. Going into the game before they played Philly, they only had 5 takeaways in 6 games. That's really not that good. They had 4 in that game against Philly. But I'm with Jerry on this one. I'm not giving up that kind of compensation.
So, I'm still stuck with Jeff Heath at safety. Just Jeff, as I call him. He's not bad, but he ain't great either.
No.
And remember, all last year, it looked like Earl Thomas. We're going to get Earl Thomas, right?
Yep.
And it sounded like a deal was agreed upon via phone, and then at the last second, Seattle kind of jerked the rug out from underneath Jerry. Remember this?
Right.
April Fools, we actually want 2 first-round picks or whatever they demanded. It was sort of like this thing, except in reverse, where they agreed on a first, and then they, on second thought here, a lot of teams are starting to call us about Earl Thomas, so maybe we should ask for a little bit more. Jerry, wait a second, you already agreed to. No. So that fell apart.
Right.
And again, Earl Thomas was more of a free safety, obviously, than a strong safety, so it's a very different kind of player, but he is a difference maker.
Yes, he is.
And I would have taken Earl Thomas. And the one thing he shares with Jamal Adams is they both grew up Cowboy fans in the state of Texas, because obviously Earl Thomas from small-town Texas, but went to the University of Texas. Jamal Adams grew up right there in Dallas, in what they call the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in Carrollton, and he's just right under your nose. And Dallas Cowboy, and I'm going to get to this in just a second, I think he badly wanted to be a Cowboy. So I will admit that through the afternoon yesterday, my hopes started rising just the way Jamal Adams' name did on trending Twitter U.S. topics. It started to go right up the ladder, and it got up there. It might have gotten to 1, but I know it was 2 or 3. And yet, I will say this. When the smoke cleared last night, and I saw Jamal Adams' reaction to all of the above, and I started sifting through it, I must admit to you, from the bottom of my heart, I am very glad this deal fell through. I have never really trusted Jamal Adams' sort of makeup, his intangibles. He has become a little bit of a social media diva. He's got some Jalen Ramsey in him. I don't think he would have been a great chemistry fit for the Dallas Cowboy defense. And bottom line, how would you pay Jamal Adams when you're having a hard enough time paying Dak and Amari and Byron Jones and Wolf Hunter, and I can just keep going down the list of all those young, valuable Cowboys who've all paid dues for the Dallas Cowboys. And here would come this guy. You don't think he would command top safety dollars? He's got 1 more year left.
Well, this is his 3rd year, right? So he has 4th year and an option. But here's the thing, Skip.
But I mean, next year you'd have to start thinking about he'd want money.
It would just send a bad message that you bring someone else in the locker room and you would even consider doing something before you took care of Dak and before you took care of Amari.
I totally agree. So, to your point, just on the surface, is Jamal Adams a lot more gifted? He's not bigger. They're both about the same size. But is he faster than Jeff Heath? He's all of the above. He was the 6th pick in the draft out of LSU, which is DBU, but it's also linebacker U, isn't it?
Yes.
Because, boy, they got a bunch of studs coming out of there.
Deion Jones, and they got White in Tampa. They got some thumpers.
They got some thumpers, and he is a thumper at strong safety.
And they got the number 1 safety player in there now.
Jeff Heath, undrafted free agent from Saginaw Valley State, a native of Detroit, Michigan, not exactly cowboy country. So anyway, no real connection there, right?
Detroit ain't not known as a football factory?
I don't know.
Not recently.
I don't know. But he didn't go to Michigan or Michigan State. He went to Saginaw Valley State, and that's all you need to know. And I tried to look it up. I don't think he was even invited to the combine, so I don't know any combine numbers.
Okay.
Jamal Adams, for his size, he can fly.
He can run,
He's a 4.4 guy.
Yeah.
Okay, and we did see him pick 6 Jared Stidham late in the New England game, if we could see that, because this is what you could have had. This is him in his Pro Bowl glory, where he'll just pick it and take it. This is the next Tom Brady here, a little bit of an overthrow. That's what could have been in metallic blue and silver for the Dallas Cowboys. Stud, right? We agree on that. What I can't buy, and by the way, he's ranked by Pro Football Focus the 7th best on just performance this year. He's the 7th best performing safety. Right now, Jeff Heath is the 55th best performing safety. I didn't even know there were 55 safeties in the league, right?
Well, you got 2 per team, so 64. So he's 55th, he's 55th out of 64.
It just seems so many. Okay, back to Jamal Adams and his makeup. You might remember we had Jamal on the show because he had an issue with me because I took issue with him for at his Pro Bowl last year. Do you remember what he did to the New England Patriots mascot?
He tackled him.
Oh, yes.
He tackled him, and I just said, you're better than that. There you go. Come on, the poor kid in that costume got annihilated and reportedly had to go to the hospital, but turned out okay.
Right.
But I'm like, Jamal, you're better than that. You don't have to go prove your manhood by running over the poor mascot. And he took him out, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought, okay, grow up a little bit. And I do think Jamal still has some immaturity issues. And he's also become a little bit of a victim of social media because he has become the most outspoken player and the most publicized player on a bad New York football team, right? So he gets a lot of tabloid action, back page headlines, albeit for a team that's not very good,
Correct.
Right? But he has become sort of the spokesman for the team, and he is big on social media. And after a while, runaway ego. I'm not sure that's a good chemistry fit for how the Dallas Cowboy defense has come together because they don't have a massive ego guy on that unit. They seem to play pretty well together. I'm not saying they're great because they've had their issues, but is that a good chemistry fit for that unit?
Well, Skip, here's the thing, though. But normally when the Cowboys trade for a player, what do they want? They want stars. They're trading for Charles Haley. They're trading for Deion Sanders. So normally when they bring
and
a
you're
guy...
going back.
But you know, with Jerry's history, when he trades for a defensive player, he normally wants a star because you're in Dallas and Jerry wants flash. Jeff Heath is blue collar. Jeff Heath got bro games. He got a hard hat. He got a lunch pail.
He does.
And this kid here, Skip, now he's physical. Jeff Heath is physical, but not physical like this. Because remember, he originally got an unnecessary roughness hit on Tom Brady.
He did.
That was later rescinded.
And he got fined.
But it was rescinded.
It was.
But Skip, for me, when I look at it, now Jerry tied up all these players to long-term deal. Now, notwithstanding Dak and Amari, at some point in time, and you play a professional sport, the commodity is draft picks. You keep giving away all these draft picks, and you got nothing to replenish. Because eventually, Skip, these guys that you got signed to a long-term deal, it's going to be time to move on from them. So what are you going to do? And I agree with Jerry. Skip, I believe Jerry would have been willing to give up maybe a first-rounder and a fourth-rounder. I think that's fair compensation, considering that you believe, and a lot of people believe, that the Cowboys are going to be in the playoff. They're going to make a deep run. So that pick could be somewhere between 25th and the 32nd. No harm, no foul for the 6th overall draft pick and a 4th rounder. But when you start talking about a first, 2 seconds, and maybe even more compensation, hell no, I'm out of that one.
Okay, so I do appreciate that Jerry Jones is all in. He is plunging for a Super Bowl. I wish he had been able to pull off the Earl Thomas because that would have been a much better fit for this team.
Well, he probably could have skipped, but the money, because even when Earl was a free agent,
it's all about money.
The money was too much. He couldn't go that price with Baltimore.
I got it. Amari Cooper was an all-time great acquisition. It's right up there with the Charles Haley acquisition that Jerry pulled off. And remember, Charles was not a big star in San Francisco because they had so many bigger stars in the Montana era.
But he was probably the best on the defensive side. Because at that time, they had moved on from Ronnie now.
But he was not a big talker because he barely talked to the media, so he wasn't a big thing when he came to Dallas because I was covering the team at that point, and we all knew all the bad stuff about Charles Haley, but we didn't know a lot of good stuff about his personality. It was all negative.
The thing was, reporters didn't want to talk to him because they never knew what they were going to get. More times than not, they were going to get something that they didn't want. So they didn't even bother him. You didn't want to talk to him.
Okay, so all that was a Super Bowl move because Jerry pulled that off. And again, Jimmy got upset with me a couple times because I gave Jerry too much credit, but he pulled that off. He was the driving force of that deal. Jimmy had to sign off on the deal. Charles Haley was the X factor that put them over the top to win a Super Bowl a year before they deserved to, in 1992 season.
Well, the Cowboys were probably the only team that had a locker room that could deal with Charles.
Okay, you're probably right, but it was still a very young football team, and I found Charles to be a model teammate for everybody. Once he bought into who who they were.
Right.
Because he didn't buy into the way he was treated in San Francisco.
No.
Okay, Deion was a superstar. So that's a classic.
And Deion was not a trade. He was a free agent with acquisition.
Right.
So
they went hard after him, and they paid him a lot of money. Amari Cooper is not a superstar acting player.
Right.
He came with zero ego, and he and Dak went boom, click.
Correct.
So again, did he upset the locker room? Is he the one that's campaigning on a daily basis for a new contract? He doesn't care at all.
No.
So what a sweet move that was for your chemistry.
Correct.
That actually enhanced your chemistry, right?
Yes.
Now, we're going to talk about Michael Bennett in a little bit, but I think Michael Bennett could be the X factor that could put them over the top this year.
Right.
It was a great acquisition, but he can be a little hard to coach because I love Michael Bennett. He is his own man. We're going to talk about his stance on standing or sitting for the anthem or staying in the locker room for the anthem. We're going to talk about it in a little bit and how that's going to fit with Jerry Jones.
Correct.
But the point is, Jerry's all in. He keeps trying and plunging. And now my final issue with this team is, can you go forward with Xavier Woods at free safety and Jeff Heath at strong safety and win the NFC? Can you get to the Super Bowl with those two guys? I don't know. I'll be the first to admit to you, of all the X factors on my team, those are the two most troubling ones because I don't know if they're good enough.
Because, Skip, you're probably going to have to, you're going to have to run through Aaron Rodgers. You're going to probably have to go through Drew Brees or Kirk Cousins and all of those guys, given that Devontae Adams for the Packers come back. You got to deal with them in the passing game.
I agree. And there are days when I'm just closing my eyes because people are just running free all through that secondary.
Right.
I like the corners.
Right.
I'm not saying I love the corners, but I like both of them. Byron Jones and Awuzie and Anthony Brown thrown into the mix.
Right.
But the safeties, it's ironically called safety, and they're not very safe, either one of them, which brings me back to last year's draft. I'm still scratching my head because they gave up their first-round pick for Amari Cooper, so that was gone. But in the second round, they took Tristan Hill out of Central Florida, a defensive tackle, with a whole bunch of high-rated safeties left on the board.
Right.
And I'm like, what are you doing? Tristan Hill, I'm not saying he's a bust, but he's done next to nothing so far.
Right.
He's sort of on that Taco Charlton path right now.
But look at Taco in Miami.
Yep.
Taco in Miami balling the taco truck out every week, Jenny. He got pull the taco truck up out every week. He got like 5 sacks.
I know. I wish he'd be eating
tacos
tacos in Dallas. I told you I liked him.
I did.
But Skip, sometimes it comes down to playing time.
Okay.
He wasn't getting the playing time, and so it's hard to show someone what you can do, Skip. You get 3 or 4 snaps a game.
Tristan Hill got playing time early, and then slowly but surely he's losing playing time. And now that Michael Bennett is there, he's going to lose more.
Even more, correct.
But just people might not remember this, but on the board right after that goes Nazir Adderley, went right after that, and he went to the Chargers, and he's on IR, so I don't know what he would have done. But Taylor Rapp, he goes next to the Rams. Do you remember what he did at the end of the Baker Mayfield game on Sunday night? He was the one who broke up the last-ditch pass on 4th and 4 with whatever it was, 33 seconds left.
Right.
Remember? He broke up the pass that would have tied the game.
Right.
He starts now for the Rams and is playing, by all accounts, at a high level.
Right.
You don't think he'd be a starter for the Cowboys?
And Skip, Jeff Heath is not, Skip, the thing is that they love about Jeff Heath, he's not spectacular, he's solid. He's going to play all the special teams for you. He's going to play punt. He's going to play punt return. He's going to be in the kick game. But he's going to be solid, Skip. If you're looking for him to be Ed Reed, if you're looking for him to be Troy Polamalu, that's not a Ronnie Lott or any of these guys. That's not what he is.
And then the next of those 3 safeties that went right in a row, Juan Thornhill went to the Chiefs, and I know he's not a big name, but he starts for the Chiefs, and I know they're not great, but would he have been better than...
You're looking at it from a standpoint like Jerry. Where we're deficient at on that side of the football, the defensive side, is at the safety position.
Yep.
And you don't address the issue. You go D-line, which maybe Jerry knew something that we didn't.
Yep.
That some of these guys weren't going to be able to come back, and maybe these guys had some lingering injuries. So he tried to make a strength even stronger by adding, depth at the D-line position. Okay. But, Skip, I don't think Jeff Heath will be the reason you lose a game.
All right, thank you.
He might not be the reason you win.
I'm going to take that to my bank. Now, the reason I was happy that the Jets wouldn't even take a first-round pick for Jamal Adams is because of how everything shook out last night. Jamal Adams went on Twitter, where he has got a big voice, and he accused the GM of the New York Jets, Joe Douglas, of going behind his back after he said, "Don't trade me," and trying to trade him.
Right.
Joe Douglas said, "No, I didn't try to trade you. we got calls. We were we did accept the calls, but I didn't initiate the phone calls, okay?
I wonder if teams call the Rams and ask them would they be interested in trading Aaron Donald. I wonder if teams call in Chicago, did you interested in trading Khalil Mack? I don't think so, Skip. Look here. I think the thing is they floated it out there. I believe they floated it out that Jamal Adams could be had for the right price.
Okay.
And since no one offered that right price, but here's the thing, Skip, you run into, you cause yourself some problems.
Yep.
Because you got to deal with the guy for the rest of this season.
All right.
And if you don't move him in the offseason, you got hell on your hands again because I said I wanted to be here. I wanted to be a part of the change when it comes, and you tried to move me. So you're almost forced to move him in the offseason. You got no choice.
Okay. So, Jamal Adams, via Twitter, any reports of me asking to be traded from the New York Jets are completely false.
Yes.
Completely false. Josina Anderson of ESPN tweeted, my understanding is that valiant efforts were made last night to convey Jamal Adams' interest in playing for the Dallas Cowboys, period. We'll leave it at that, said Josina.
How about this?
Well, now think about that.
Yes.
So he's saying that, well, this is saying that he was actually seeking a trade that he says he did not want.
No,
right? Okay.
I read it that I didn't ask for a trade, but if you're going to move me, can you send me to the Cowboys?
Okay.
Can you send me home? Now, Skip, I don't want to go out and eat, but if I got to go out and eat Jenny on a weeknight, can we at least go to Mastro's?
Yeah.
Can we at least go somewhere? I mean,
make it worth it.
Shit, I thought you didn't want to go out. Well, look, I don't want to go out.
Okay,
but since I got to go.
If you're insisting that you were adamant that you wanted to remain a Jet, and Josina, who I high respect for, she's saying, wait a second, somebody in his camp is making valiant efforts to let Jerry know we want to be there.
Yes.
Okay, well, there's something,
but Skip,
those are conflicting
but
statements.
Skip, once I find out that you're going to move me, at least I'm going to say, you know what, if you're going to move me, you want to move me, can you at least send me somewhere like the Cowboys?
All right.
Don't put me in a situation like Aqib Talib. He leaves the Rams and goes to Miami. Don't send me to a situation like that.
Okay. And finally, if in fact the Jets were willing to at least listen to calls, what does that tell you about how much they value Jamal Adams? In the end.
For me, Skip, they don't value anything because they already moved Leonard Williams, who was a top 10 pick, top 5, top 6 pick. Yeah. Jamal Adams was the 6th pick in the draft. Yeah. So I don't know what they got going on. But the Jets fan, if I'm the Jets fan, Skip, I'm upset because I'm trying to win games and you're getting the best players that we have. These are known commodities. I understand that the draft capital is draft pick, Skip. But you're talking about a known commodity for an unknown because you're saying we're willing to go back into the draft and pick next year. At what? You're not going to get a quarterback. Are they moving on from Sam Darnold already, Skip? Is that what you're trying to say? Is that because it looks like you're going to be tanking?
Well,
we already know Miami's tanking.
I told you before the draft, I'm not buying Sam Darnold.
Well, hell, Skip, look.
I had to buy him one day against the Cowboys, but that was the greatest day of his life.
Well, hell,
he had a day.
I mean, Skip, but if you look at it, hell, it looked like Lamar Jackson might go turn out to be the best of all the quarterbacks that came out last year. I mean, 2 years ago?
I'm not signing off on Baker yet. I mean, I'm not writing him off. So
I'm not either.
He got to turn it around.
This is the tough part of the road.
Yeah, okay.
Well, in the end, I'm sorry, Jamal, but I'm happy you're not coming home to Dallas.
See? I'm happy. See, you keep stuff going.
Yeah.
You keep it. I mean,
I'm just telling you the truth.
Man wanted to come.
That was my honest reaction at the end of the night.
Now, what if he got a pick that could seal the Super Bowl victory?
Well, he didn't.
Yeah, you know why?
Happened.
You know why? Because you won't even be there. So that's why it didn't happen.
Okay.
No mercy.
Anthony Davis and the Lakers had their way with the Grizzlies last night. 80 went off, dropping 40 points and 20 rebounds in only 31 minutes. This is the fastest a player reached 40-20 in a game since minutes were first tracked in 1951. And Davis is only the 6th Laker ever to have a 40-20 game. 80 also set a Lakers franchise record with 26 made free throws on only 27 attempts. LeBron had 23 points in the win and had this to say about 80.
I don't even think he's scratched the surface yet. I think we're all still getting comfortable with one another. I think he's still getting comfortable out on the floor. But, when he's attacking like that, The guy shoots high in the 80s and 90s from the free throw line. And, that's easy money for him, and it's great for our defense as well. It's great for our team being able to settle a game down like that. So he was wonderful tonight, spectacular in all facets, both offensively and defensively, and we needed it.
Well, Shannon, how impressive was AD?
Hold on, Judy said, since they started tracking minutes in the 50s, this is the fastest somebody's had a 40-20.
Unbelievable.
Crazy.
I mean, skip that. Your boy 51. I was born in 68. So we're talking about 17 years, going back 51. So we talking about 16 years. They been playing a lot. There been a lot of players. There been a lot of players. Will, Bill Russell, and Timmy Duncan are great. Elijah Warren, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, Shaq. The man is the last Laker to get a 40-20 game since Shaq 16 years ago. See, this is why you move heaven and earth. You see, the Brandon Ingrams and the Lonzo Balls and the Josh Harts, they come along every NBA draft. But that guy, that's a generational talent. They only come along once in a lifetime, Skip Bayless. They don't come along all the time. And you move heaven and earth to get them. 40, 20, and 31 minutes. Oh, he had it going. He had it going.
It's over.
He had it going.
It's over.
And I told you. I told you. I said, he going to be the MVP, Skip. Oh, no. Anthony. Skip, he been doing this. This is what he was doing last year in New Orleans that went unnoticed before the trade came up and they started jacking with his minutes. Alvin Gentry and Dale Demps. See, Dale, you got up out of there. Now, you could have still had a job, general manager of the Pelicans.
Oh, yeah.
Could have still had a job, but he's joshing around. Now, look at him. Looking for work. Messing with me and Magic. Me and Magic got pulled in this city. But anyway, Skip Bayless, you just saw this a sample. A guy that can put the ball, he was attacking. So you're going to put it on the floor and say, okay, you can't stop me. And see, they made the mistake, Skip. They went small. You can't go small with him on the court because he's 6'11". And he going to grab everything off the rim. I mean, he just, everything. And Clark, just give me that. Give me that.
How do they go big?
He's like a bullet.
Who's big?
They got Valanciunas.
Oh.
Valanciunas.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like a bully. Call him a bully.
He bully, yeah. He moves like a glacier.
Yeah. I'm a part of that anti-bullying campaign, except when it comes to AD. I let him bully them all, AD. Got something for you, too. Porzingis on Friday night. Got something for you, LaMarcus, on Sunday. Skip, you saw this.
Jeez.
Skip, that was special last night.
He's riled up.
Skip, that was special last night. And Bron, you know what? They messed up a couple. LeBron's supposed to have like double digit. JaVale messed up a couple of his assists. LeBron's supposed to have 11, 12 assists, 23-12. A little quiet, and I only had 2 rebounds.
Kind of quiet.
But, I mean, how you going to get all the rebounds when AD getting them all? Can't get no rebounds, AD hogging them up.
So, by the way, LeBron James is now officially second fiddle.
Right? Don't worry about all that.
Is that what we're saying?
Officially, yeah. I mean, this is a first for LeBron.
Care.
It's a first that he is second fiddle.
I don't care. And LeBron James, see, when he said, we're going to play through AD, you were the first one. I don't believe it. He said all the right things.
I still don't believe it.
Yeah, you believe it. You just said he's second fiddle.
Well, you know what? I kept looking at Memphis last night, and I kept saying, who's that? Who's he? Wait, he's on Memphis? Who's that guy? And I started thinking, is this the Memphis G League team? I don't know because I can't recognize any of these guys.
Jay Crowder, Jaren Jackson.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wasn't Jaren Jackson Jr. a high draft pick?
Yeah.
They got Ja Morant.
He went 2 for 10.
16
after his coming out party against the Brooklyn Nets the other night, he had a grand total of 2 assists last night. He stunk it up.
Avery Bradley.
Yeah.
AB. Lock him up.
I'll buy that. But I thought Ja would
lock up.
You know.
Danny Green. Skip, he was special last night. This is why you move those pieces to get a guy like this, Skip. A 40, 20, and 31 minutes. That speaks volume. So I'm not saying he's Shaq, but he's that level of talent to show you what he's capable of doing. And this is only a sample. Because like I said, before that trade, before they started messing with his minutes, he was 29, 12 and a half, and 2.5. And this is exactly what he is now. But the difference is, Skip, guess what? You do 29, 12 and a half in a Pelican uniform, and everybody's like, so? You do 29, 12 and a half in that purple and gold?
Yeah.
People start going, oh, Mike and Shaq, Will, Kareem. We the land of the big man.
Yeah.
If you're a big man and you want to win, come to L.A. and put you in.
Is it possible the Lakers are going to play every game at home?
There you
I don't know. I'm starting to wonder.
You get 41 games at home.
Do you get to schedule all the Southern California college teams? Like I told you, Long Beach State is next. Maybe USC, UCLA. I don't know. Cal Poly Pomona.
Well, Pepperdine beat the Clippers the other night.
Okay.
Phoenix Suns. They Pepperdine. Oh, boy, cooked them.
Pepperdine's pretty good.
The schedule gods have been on their side.
No, they're just up in Malibu and got a nice.
Tell me when you're finished.
You go ahead, Skip. You got. Oh, AD.
You good?
Oh, the AD. Woo.
You could go all day, Skip.
Shannon Sharpe, I hate to rain on your very early season championship parade you got going here today, but at the center of all the good news about AD last night was some pretty stunning, not so good news.
What?
He had a bad shoulder. And it was so bad that he actually ducked the media the last 2 days and violated all the media access rules. I assume he'll be fined for that because he missed 2 straight sessions with the media because he was trying to hide a shoulder injury suffered late in the game against Charlotte.
He had a shoulder injury? And put up 40, 20, and 31 minutes?
I think it's my turn.
Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry.
So he did have a shoulder injury that was so bad that they were afraid he could not play last night, and he did it by hanging on the rim late in the game against Charlotte. One of those run-it-up dunks that he was trying to pull off against another bad team they played.
Stop it, Skip.
Yeah. And so he's got another injury, and I'm going to remind you that he missed an average of 17 games a season in his first 4 years, and he acquired the reputation or the handle of being brittle. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
And he's trying to sort of guts his way out of that. He said after the game last night, I'm trying to eliminate that label, but he accepted that, I was hurt with various injuries. He listed a bunch of them when I was in New Orleans. And the reason he went unnoticed in New Orleans is because he could never lift that team above 500. So that's what was going on there. So Shannon, he already, in the second quarter, had to go to the locker room to get retaped with that kinetic tape. So they had to retape him up, and then he came back against Memphis, and it's one of those nights where you're not sure if you can go, and you sort of don't put any pressure on yourself, and you start thinking, wait, it feels better than I thought it did, because he could sure shoot free throws last night, couldn't he?
Yeah.
Because would you believe that Anthony Davis in the second half made 1 basket in the whole second half and scored 40 points. How can you do that? That's not possible.
Yeah, it is.
1 basket and you scored 40 points. How did you do that, Mr. Davis?
Being aggressive.
You made 18 free throws in the third quarter. That is the all-time NBA record for any quarter. Nobody has ever made 18 free throws in a single quarter. And he did it. And it's hard to get fouled that much in one quarter, right?
Yep.
That's a lot of times being sent to the line, and you made all 18 of your free throws, and what did he make for the game? 26 of 27. That is James Harden-esque. That is special.
And the thing was, the guy that had the record for the Lakers and the most free throws made in the game, people would have never guessed it was Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard once made 25 of 39. Remember Orlando had the hack of Dwight.
Oh, hack of Dwight. But still, for Dwight to make 25 is staggering to me. I was shocked.
But anybody to make 25, that's a lot of free throws.
So speaking of our friend Valanciunas, after the game, he just went so far as to say there were a lot of questionable things happening out there, as in bad calls.
Yeah, like the one you pushed Avery Bradley, or KCP in the back, and then get a foul. You remember that one, Skip? Right up under the basket?
I think we might have that play.
Yeah.
Early in the game, I think this set the whole tone for the game, because underneath it got very physical, and there was a lot of pushing and shoving going on. I think here we go. And AD's right in the middle of it. He tries to put it back. There's a lot of banging and crashing. He goes on the floor, and there goes Ty Jones on a little quick run out for a basket. And here comes your new head coach, off the bench. Time out.
Yeah.
Because AD is still lying prone on the floor while the basket is being made at the other end.
And he asked him, what is that?
Yeah.
He's like, what was that bull job that y'all just called? Or didn't call.
Okay, and I think your head coach sent the right message, because I think the refs started feeling guilty. And from that moment on, AD got every call known to man the rest of the game.
They fired him on the alley-hoop. LeBron threw the alley-hoop from half court.
Did it
they
go
fired
in?
him on the... Yeah, they went in. They should have and won.
Oh, really? Okay. How much do you want? 44 points?
But Skip, this should not come as a surprise to you, because he already has a 59-20 game on his resume.
So, again, How do you explain a guy making one basket in the whole second half and scoring 40? How do you do that?
Him.
That's got to be a first two. I don't know how to look that one up, but
they fouled him. Stop fouling.
The fewest baskets made in a half while scoring 40-plus points.
Skip, what did you expect? He had 20 and 12 at the half and then go 20 and 8 in the third quarter alone. Well, they should have put him back in there and see if he could get a 60-40 game. Might as well.
After the game, Anthony Davis said about his shoulder, it was bothering me a lot. It was very sore. You starting to fear this for going forward?
Well, guess what? We ain't got a game.
You sure he's going to be able to play in the next two games that you're already...
We're going to put some on. We're going to put some on Dallas. Because Dallas starting to feel good about themselves. And they got a big team, too, Skip. When if they trot out Boban and Porzingis and Luka, they got a big team, too. But we got something for them.
Last night at Denver, Porzingis and Doncic completely disappeared. They had two of the most ordinary or subpar games you can imagine.
And they still won.
And they had like 9 guys scoring double figures, I think it was, and they pulled it out.
Yes.
Wow, interesting.
That's what I keep telling you. You keep talking about, Denver Nuggets. Everybody talking about Denver Nuggets. I know it's early.
Well, I'm talking about the Dallas Mavericks. Because what if Porzingis and Doncic happen to show up against the Lakers?
Oh, hold on. But you think LeBron James is playing LeBron James level basketball?
Well,
right now he chipping.
What is LeBron level? I don't know. Year 17. It looks like he just goes along for a nice ride.
Don't do that, Skip. I know what you're trying to do. But we're not gonna play that seed. We're not gonna fall into that trap and all of a sudden, start jacking up shots and just playing. No. We playing through AD. We told you we're gonna play through AD. We're gonna be just fine.
Okay.
Because when we want to go to the basket, ain't nothing they can do about it. Okay. You see Solomon Hill. He gonna try to lay. Look, if you have a layup on a breakaway and LeBron James is trailing you,
no, he got him.
Just pull it back out and wait for the rest of your offense, because it's gonna get thrown up in the rafters.
Yep.
Or you're gonna get Andre Iguodala.
Yep.
Now you should. I mean, how many times must he do this to people?
Yeah. Or just stop. Just stop cold. Just pick up your dribble and come to a screeching halt right under the basket. And guess where LeBron's going?
Nowhere.
Into the third row.
Hey. What you should do, if you're on the breakaway, Skip, just get it, and like you look back, then you see him, just pull it back out. Bring it out past the three-point line and say, come on, guys, I don't want no part of this. Because he's not finna, Skip, I'm not finna be on his highlight reel. Because LeBron got a highlight reel that's out of this world.
Really?
It's probably about 4 hours long right now.
Last year he had a low-light reel that was way better than any highlight reel I've ever seen. And
there you go.
Just for you today, because it's AD Day here on Undisputed, I'm not going to ask to show the low-light reel.
There you go. Skip, you always try to rain on, you keep on talking about rain on the parade.
Yep.
You always try to rain on my parade.
Last season,
we only 4 games, Skip, we're 4 games in.
Come on.
We 3-1.
It was Memphis. Come on.
Hold up.
Stop it.
So you didn't say that last year when Memphis beat
How many
them?
games is he going to shoot 27 free throws? Seriously.
So how many games? So you don't think he's going to average 28 points a game this year?
Oh, I think he could average 20.
And that's the Skip. That's what's the amazing part about it. He really didn't shoot that good from the field.
I told you. It's all about free throws.
But Skip,
you made 26 of your 40 points are 1 point free throws.
But let that sink in, Skip. He's normally a 50+% field shooter. So with that, if he shoots what he normally, you look at it, Skip, you're looking at 50-20.
Yep. Okay.
And O'Brien chipped in old ho-hum. He ain't give you a 23 and 8.
Yeah. Okay. Way to go. Well, enjoy it while it lasts.
What you mean while it lasts?
Yeah, you got a game Sunday at San Antonio.
LaMarcus don't want to see us.
3-0.
LaMarcus don't want to see us.
Really?
LaMarcus don't want to see us.
Just him? We got a whole. We go 12 deep.
How many deep we go? Did you see all the guys we played last night?
We played a lot of
Caldwell Pope, D. Howard, Quinn Cook, Troy Daniels, Caruso. Even we let Jared Dudley get in the game for almost 7 minutes.
He got 7 minutes.
Yeah, that was
all zeros.
No, don't worry about that.
He had an assist.
He in the game though.
Okay.
He played hard.
All right. He does play hard.
I can't believe
Way to go, Shannon.
You didn't bring up Taco Tuesday.
Oh, you heard the crowd? You heard the crowd?
Did you hear the crowd? Chanting it.
He said, what time is it? Oh, what time is it?
I like it.
What time is it?
I can't believe you didn't lead with that.
And you see what he did? He's in the taco truck to the first responders and firefighters. That's what he.
I thought that was one of the highlights of the night.
That's what he does.
LeBron.
And everybody still.
And
guess what?
It's the right move.
You know what some will say? Tacos, man, cheap tacos. Send them boys some steak. Send them boys some.
That would be. Oh, you're reading Twitter again.
It's gonna be too much. No.
Did people say that?
It's like you. Because I told Skip, I said, Skip, you see LeBron walk on water? Guess what he told me, Jenny? Yeah, he walking on water because he can't swim. You see what I'm saying, Jenny? That's what LeBron up against.
It was great gestures in the taco truck, but it was also great self-promotion.
And there you go. See, there you go.
I don't know. It served two purposes.
Hold on. He didn't tweet that out. The mayor did that. Garcetti did it. LeBron doing stuff in anonymity. He don't want everybody to know all their business. But the mayor thought it was such a great gesture.
I thought it was.
That's what he did.
I thought that's the stuff that matters.
That's the LeBron James that everybody know and love. But some people still find fault. He gonna drop by 40 on Dallas.
I'm just waiting for the Lakers season to actually start.
Yeah.
It started already. Started last Tuesday.
3-1.
No mercy.
We're going to move on to a guy whose season is well underway. Dak Prescott, he leads the league in QBR, but, you know, some still see some flaws in the quarterback's game. When assessing quarterbacks midway through the season, one anonymous evaluator questioned his accuracy, saying, quote, "In my opinion, he is not naturally accurate. When things tighten up, he has games like he did against the Jets. I just think he is a middle-of-the-road guy that's always going to be up and down." Harsh words, Shannon. How much truth is there to this?
I mean, there's a lot of different definitions of middle of the road. What does middle of the road mean? That either good or bad, huh? So he's just middle of the road. He don't know
as you called him yesterday, marginal. Marginal. I'm just quoting you.
That was the evaluator said. I'm just little old me. What I know about anything? I just happen to play 14, got a little gold jacket or something.
You're in the Hall of Fame. This evaluator is probably almost certainly not in the Hall of Fame.
Skip that. Look, I think the thing is that when we talk about accuracy, and people look at it and it says, okay, he threw the ball was complete. That's accuracy. But no, the difference is that you watch Aaron Rodgers, he throws the ball, he gives the guys an opportunity to run with it after the catch. You see, if he puts the ball in front of Amari Cooper, Amari Cooper hits his head on the goalpost, you don't have to worry about Amari Cooper hitting him in the back and the ball popping up and being intercepted by Jair Alexander. Those are what we're talking about, Skip. That's the accuracy, I think, the evaluator. Look, you look at a situation like, oh, swing pass to Zeke or check down or a screen or something. And then he'll throw the ball 40 yards down the field. Like, oh, look at all the air. But hold on. He just threw 7 checkdowns. And then you overlook. So you overlook the checkdowns and then says, oh, my guy's so accurate. Skip, there's a lot of fluff in all this. My quarterback is thrown for this many yards. So Andy Dalton has thrown for the 4th most yards in the NFL thus far. What's his team record, Skip? You see what happened? And I make mention of that. I said Andy Dalton because the 4th most yards. Your guy got a lot of yards in garbage time. 31-3, 21-3.
Did they almost come back and win those?
No, almost. I ain't got that on my menu yet. Should I add that? Almost?
No.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to Jenny said don't add almost to the menu. You get hot L's or them dubs. What you want, Skip?
One or the other.
That's it. Skip, look. Dak, I think he's improved from his first year to his second year to his third year, in his 4th year. Skip, he's getting better. But as far as just naturally accurate like a Breeze or like a Rodgers, no. Now, Pat Mahomes is never going to have the accuracy of Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers. You know why, Skip? He take too many shots. Those are low percentage completion plays, but they reap big rewards. But Skip, come on, you see this. You see in Green Bay, when the game was 7-0, he did nothing. When the game was 10-0, 14, 17, he did absolutely nothing. It wasn't until the game was out of reach. Until the game. And the Jets, I'm just trying to figure out, Sam Darnold, the guy that Skip, wasn't Halloween 2 weeks ago, and he saw ghosts. I don't know if it was Casper. I don't know what kind of ghost he saw, but he saw something. And so this evaluator's right on. He's
right on?
No.
Says Shannon Sharpe.
Skip.
I just need to get you on record. Okay. He's right on.
What I'm saying is he's not just – Drew Brees is just naturally accurate. Some guys are just naturally accurate. And then some guys got to work for it. But, Skip, if you put the guy in position – see, Dak is throwing passes and the guy get a 15-yard catch. Well, if he threw it accurately, more accurate, it's a 30-yard catch and run. There's a difference between the two. Yes, one is a catch, 15 yards, but the other would have been put him in place to get a 30-yard instead of just 15. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't have time to do this right now, but maybe one day I'll set aside a whole block on this show just to show you how many times Dak Prescott has hit Amari Cooper in stride on the run, in which he's caught the ball at the 10-yard mark and taken it 50 more yards. It happens 4 or 5 times every game. It's what he can do and continues to do.
No.
And it's why this whole premise makes me angry just to the point of being sick to my stomach, because here we go again.
What do you
This
think?
is lazy. This is the laziest handle anybody. It's like there's a myth out there operating about Dak Prescott. What do I always tell you? Most underappreciated, over-criticized quarterback in the history of pro football. And it's because a lot of these evaluators dug in when he was a rookie and dismissed him as inaccurate. So now there's this incredibly, erroneously unfair label tattooed on his forehead that says inaccurate. And you push it. You might have started it, but you certainly extend the myth of it, because I get it on a daily basis. And all he does is throw accurate passes, but everybody continues to dismiss him as inaccurate. So let's go back to, and by the way, before I leave this behind, Mike Sando on The Athletic also comes right out of this quote and says, that is not necessarily the prevailing opinion. Another evaluator praised Prescott for his accuracy early in the Jets game and came away impressed at how the quarterback's toughness, blah, blah, blah. You know what happened, because they didn't have either star tackle in that game. Amari was lost immediately in that game. Dak Prescott got hit or knocked down or rushed or hurried on nearly every throw in that game, and he just kept jumping right up and throwing another completion and brought them all the way back from 21-3 down, despite 3 drops from Michael Gallup. 3 drops. You can go look it up.
It happens.
And 2 more drops from 2 other receivers. He suffered 5 drops in that game and still came within a 2-point conversion pass to Jason Witten, on which he got mugged by Marcus May of the Jets. It was an absolute mugging at the goal line, because they just said, let him play. Let him just be it, because it's big old strong Jason Witten.
No, you wanted the official to decide the game.
I would like to have the play over when you let it play fairly, you know, okay? And again, the pass was right on the nose, but you can't catch it when both your arms are being held down by the Well, that's what happened.
That was an exaggeration. That was not what
exaggeration. So let's look at the takeaway from the Jets game. Dak Prescott wound up with a QBR in the Jets game of 74. Sam Darnold had the day of his life and had a 68 total QBR, 74 to 68.
So that should tell you something.
So my quarterback outplayed Sam Darnold on his best game at home. At home, and this was at the Jets. And my quarterback went 28 of 40 for 278 and did not turn it over one time, while he's just getting harassed, hit, knocked down on every play by some Jets blitzer, because Greg Williams smelled blood because they were neither tackle. We'll blitz him every down. And that's what they did. And he brought them all the way back from 21-3 down to within a 2-point conversion of 24-24. And who scored the tying touchdown after they went 12 plays, 75 yards? Guess who? The quarterback ran the ball into the end zone, because he's really good with his legs.
It has to do with arms, not legs.
So, once again, what did we see last year after he got Amari Cooper? The last 10 games, not 2 games or 4 games, 10 games of last year. Dak Prescott led the entire league in completions. He led the entire league on what are called catchable passes. So he threw the most catchable passes, and he was 3rd in the whole NFL in what's called air distance. How far does the ball travel to the receiver? So he was not dinking and dacking over the last 10 games. They won 8 of those games. He was throwing it down the field to Amari Cooper. So what have we seen so far this year? He leads the whole NFL in QBR, and Pro Football Focus says that at the midway point, they do their NFL All-Pro teams, their first team All-Pro.
He ain't on it.
He was on it because he was second. He got honorable mention to Russell Wilson. So they said Russell Wilson is the star of stars at quarterback through the first half of the season. And second, the runner-up, first runner-up is that guy, number 4, Dak Prescott.
Skip.
How about that?
You want to be Miss Universe or Miss first runner-up?
Okay, well, guess who wasn't first runner-up? Aaron Rodgers wasn't first runner-up.
And everybody knows it's bogus.
My homeboy wasn't.
And everybody knows it's bogus.
No Tom Brady, right? No Drew Brees. He's been hurt, obviously.
Skip, you a movie guy. You and I both movie guys. Skip, you remember the scene in Silence of the Lambs?
I don't even want to talk about it. I don't like it. I don't like horror.
What's happening?
Well, Dr. Chilton is laying on his couch. And
I watched it, and now I'm going to have a bad dream tonight because you brought it up again.
Okay,
I want to just erase it from my memory.
Okay, I want you to. Okay, and he's, you know, it's like he's supposed to be. He won't tell him who Buffalo Bill is, and he'll make sure he goes to this great little lake, and I would get to swim with the turns. I think they're called. Skip, if you don't mind me asking, how many great quarterbacks go 3 straight games and score 3 points in the first half in each game? How many of those great quarterbacks, accurate quarterbacks, do that?
Well, just
Brady,
how bad their defense
Rodgers,
is.
Breeze, my homeboy. I'm talking about which one? Which one you think?
Tom Brady did in the Super Bowl.
Huh?
Yeah, right? Super Bowl.
That's one game. One game. I'm not saying one game. I'm saying anybody can have a bad game. I'm saying 3 straight games. Because, see, Skip, what we see here is we see a reoccurring theme.
How many quarters are there in football? I forget. You know, because you're in the Hall of Fame.
There's 4 quarters.
Do they count?
Yes.
Do the second quarter count?
Yeah.
On the third and the fourth?
I'm glad
you know what? Pro Football Focus, they actually think all 4 quarters
count. And
so they're saying this guy rates second in the whole league in performance over the first half of the season. You can't argue with that.
I can't argue with
it.
You know what, Skip?
Can you argue with the QBR? Nope, you can't.
And I'm glad you said there were 4 quarters in the game because all 3 of those games in which you scored 3 points in the first quarter, if you don't mind me asking, can you tell the people at home, because I don't know, because everybody don't have, like, you and I, we got like 5 TVs, we watch all the games
Every
at a time.
game is
So, in other words, those 3 games in which you scored 3 points at the half, and there were 4 quarters in those games, can you tell the people at home what happened in those games?
It's not my turn. That's what you always tell me. It's not my turn.
You see, Skip, Dak does complete passes, but he leaves yards on the field because a 15-yard completion could be a 30-yard catch and run if he put them. I'm telling you,
that's just baloney. That's the biggest bunch of baloney you've ever tried to sell our audience.
Skip.
All he does is hit passes that guys catch and they run with.
The defensive guy runs with it because it's behind him and he pops up in the air and the guy catches it and runs.
Yep. Okay, so he threw one ball that should have been caught by Amari Cooper, and it changed the whole season against Green Bay, and I want to see it right now. Watch. I'm going to show it again. This is what Shannon Sharpe calls a bad pass.
Yes!
Yeah, bad pass. It hits him. Can you catch that? I think that's catchable. Would Shannon Sharpe have caught that ball? Amari's still talking about how I should have caught that ball because it changed the whole game.
Skip. But instead of having the ball back here when you run it that way, if you put it right there, he hit his head on the goal post.
I got it. Should he have caught the ball? Yeah. Should it have been intercepted? No.
Should Dak have thrown a better pass?
Sure.
Okay, then.
So 50-50.
But he threw a whole bunch of really good passes because in that game, he threw for 463 yards. It counts 4 quarters. He threw for 329 in the second half alone. It's hard to do. If you're inaccurate, you can't throw for 329 in the second half. I'm sorry. This guy's really good. I'm not saying he's Brady or Breeze or Aaron Rodgers. He's not that. But he can win Super Bowls.
Yeah, he ain't Russell Wilson. He ain't my homeboy.
I don't know about Russell Wilson.
Now you gotta skip. See, now this is what me and you fall out. We can't be friends.
You know what?
If you talk about Dak better than Russell Wilson.
Okay. Who outplayed Russell head-to-head in a playoff game for all the marbles? Who outplayed him? Who had a better QBR and made more plays than Russell Wilson?
Hold on.
Who did? We just saw it last playoff.
Oh, my goodness.
Did we not see it?
Skip.
How can you explain it?
Okay.
Oh, it's one game.
Okay,
he outplayed him.
Okay, what about
It was for all.
What about the 2 games that Russell outplayed Dak? Remember those games that they lost?
Okay, in the regular season, I do remember those games.
Okay.
Yeah. And Zeke had a couple drops at Seattle.
Oh, my goodness, Skip.
Well, he did.
Stop this.
Yeah, and he didn't have Amari Cooper yet. Didn't have him.
Skip.
Once he got him, he's got a legit big-time number 1 receiver, and they vibe.
It's okay. Dak is a good quarterback.
No, he's not. He's a very good quarterback.
No, stop that.
Well,
he's not the top team.
He just keeps making you look bad.
No, he make me look good.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, all these numbers are screaming that you're looking worse and worse.
Yep. If you ask anybody, even ask Cowboy fans, if they think Dak Prescott has had a better season than Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, my homeboy, Deshaun Watson. Just ask Drew Brees. Ask them. Do they believe that honestly?
I don't know. I mean, how can I ask them? How can I even do this? How do you know that? How do you know that?
How about this? Get on Skip Does the roller coaster. Get on Skip Does the roller coaster.
Yeah. Skip does the troller?
Yeah.
That's not it.
That's not.
What is it?
Rides.
Yeah, well, okay, Skip ride the troller coaster.
You should watch one. You might learn something.
No. Skip, now you look. Dak has played well, but he has not outplayed those guys I just mentioned, Skip.
I can show you that he has. And by the way, we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers in a little bit and his overrated season.
There you go.
Well, it is. It's supremely overrated.
He beat your guy.
Okay.
He beat your guy head to head.
Yeah, my guy outplayed him.
No, he didn't.
For the whole game, he did.
No.
Aaron Jones was the MVP of that game. Not Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is better this year than Aaron Rodgers.
And he did it without Devontae. Let's see how many games Dak can win without Devontae. Let me see how many games Dak can win without Amari.
Yeah, he does need a number one because he doesn't really have.
My guy ain't got no number one. Yeah. My guy doing this with a fifth rounder and 3 undrafted free agents.
We'll talk about it next.
I don't have a Jimmy Graham at tight end.
Really?
I don't.
You got Jason Witten.
Oh, you tell me he couldn't outrun you right now. In your shaky knees.
I run Jimmy Graham too.
Okay. I do not think you could outrun Jimmy Graham.
I don't know if I
think so.
believe that either.
No mercy.
All right, it was a wild World Series Game 6 last night. The Astros jumped ahead early after Alex Bregman homered and proceeded to carry his bat to first base. The Nationals then took a 3-2 lead after a solo shot from Juan Soto, who responded to Bregman with a bat flip to his first base coach. Things heated up even more in the 7th when the Nationals' Trey Turner was called out for interference on his way to first. This led to a 4.5-minute delay reviewing the rule itself and an even longer delay trying to figure out if the game could be played under protest. Nationals manager Dave Martinez was thrown out while arguing that call, and one batter later, Anthony Rendon blasted a 2-run homer to extend the Nationals' lead, and Washington would hold on to win 7-2, forcing a Game 7 tonight in Houston. Whew! You get all that, guys? Skip, how did the Nationals pull that off?
You mentioned it. I believe Alex Bregman pretty much lost the Astros that game and very possibly the World Series by quietly igniting the Nationals in the bottom of the first last night, because Steven Strasburg said after the game he was tipping his pitches. They corrected it after the first, but he was tipping, he thought, in the first. And apparently Alex Bregman knew what was coming because he jumped all over one and just crushed it to left field. But then something happened I have never seen. And for the record, I started covering baseball for the Los Angeles Times when I covered the Dodgers back in the 1970s here in L.A. I have never seen anybody carry their bat all the way up the baseline to first base. He tried to hand it off like a baton to the first base coach, and they missed connection. So he actually rounded the bag with the bat still in his hand. So not only was he admiring his blast, but he was carrying his bat, which made this way worse than any exaggerated rub-it-in bat flip at home plate. This made it the worst. And it crossed the line. I'd never seen anything like it. And neither had Steven Strasburg or Dave Martinez, the manager, and they both said after the game, we did not like it. But that team is united. It's pulled together. They didn't want to make a big deal of it. Alex Bregman, to his credit, made a big deal after the game because he apologized because he knew it was way over the line. And he said, it's not the way I was taught to play the game. But he does handle himself with a very, what I'd call, positive arrogance that borders on cockiness. And I think it just ran away with him because he thought that was the blow that was going to change the world, right? That was going to that put them up 2-1. Instead, it seemed to ignite the Nationals, and they roared back with 6 unanswered runs the rest of the way to win 7-2. Your thoughts on that?
You know, Skip, I agree with you. It's funny how people seem to forget the rules of baseball, all these unwritten rules.
It's an unwritten rule.
When they're doing it. Oh, that's a rule? And then all of a sudden, now you're not supposed to carry the bat. It's Skip, I'm not, covered baseball, but I watch baseball. I know when you hit a home run, you're not supposed to stand and stare. And you're not supposed to bat flip. But carry the bat to first base.
Never seen it.
But if I was Soto, Skip, I'd have hit me a home run. I'd have carried my bat all the way around the bases. I'd have rounded hit first.
What? I wouldn't have minded that, actually.
I'd have round second. I'd have still had the bat in my hand.
I can just picture it.
And I'd have been pointing at Bregman the whole way. But little did he know, Skip, he ignited the Nationals. He had no idea what he was doing. He thought, the because that's going to be the story, Skip. He hit his home run. They win the World Series. He's probably going to be the MVP. He took the bat to first base. But what he did, that was their rallying cry.
Yep.
Because look at what happened after he done that.
Thank you. And if this had been a regular season game...
Oh, it'd have been a fight.
Oh, well,
they'd have beaten him.
The next time up, he would have been ducking. He would have been hitting the dirt because...
Strasburg hit him right in the middle of his back.
Right in the high and tight.
Yep.
You are exactly right about that. So this led to the most controversial play of the night, which was the play at first base. Yeah. And again, my issue with the play was how long it took to quote-unquote review it because...
Forever.
It's not reviewable. I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
It took 5 minutes, but it seemed like 50 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And the air went out of the game. And the truth is, Anthony Rendon immediately took baseball off the hook for the blunder of that whole thing, the way it was handled.
Yes.
Because he crushed one, and that sort of rendered that whole thing moot. But to me, Trey Turner was too much in the baseline. He stayed too much in the baseline too long. That's just my take on this. And I think the home plate umpire was right to say you are out because it made, even though what did John Smoltz say on our Fox telecast? He said, we were taught as pitchers to try to hit the runner if he's leaning inside the baseline like that.
So maybe you can get the call.
And you'll get the call, and he got the call, right?
Man, Skip, I can understand why Martinez was so upset because that could have cost him the game. You lose the World Series on a call like that.
Okay, so this is my pet peeve. I've said this for years about baseball. I still can't believe they let managers get away with throwing that kind of a tantrum on the field because it looked like he wanted to fight.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Didn't it look like he wants to throw down right there?
Well, let me ask you a question, Skip. Let's just say for the sake of argument, the play that happened in the NFC Championship game happens in the Super Bowl. What the hell you think a coach is going to do?
Okay.
He probably going to fight. That's the World Series.
Okay.
That's it. If they lose this game, it's over.
Okay, but if Sean Payton runs on the field and gets in the referee's face and wants to fight him right there, what starts happening? Yellow starts flying, right?
Right.
You would probably, if you tried to fight him, two things would happen. 2 yellows would fly. You'd wind up with 30 yards of penalties, and you would be, I assume you could be ejected as a
I've never seen a coach get ejected.
I haven't, but, okay, and what would happen in basketball? If Frank Vogel ran onto the floor after that play we saw last night.
He'd get tossed.
He'd be tossed, but he would get 2 technicals, so it would cost his team points, right?
Yes.
And the ball.
Right.
Okay, so there are definite harsh penalties in place in basketball and football. But in baseball, you are allowed to go out and look like you want to fight the home plate umpire or whichever umpire, right? And it goes on, and it went so far, and he's being restrained by the bench coach, restrained, until finally the language probably got so abusive that he says, you're out of here, right?
Because you can understand why he's so upset. This is the World Series.
I got that.
You lose this game and you're going home. There's no more tomorrow. And he's like, I don't feel my runner. I don't feel Turner did anything wrong.
Okay.
And you call that in this game?
Okay, I got that. But I can't believe baseball has the eyesore, allows the eyesore of that kind of a fit thrown on the field because you have a lot of kids watching. I think that sends the wrong message. Oh, you can get away with that?
Well, Skip, there's so many unwritten rules. I mean, Skip, we've seen guys, we see Steph Curry shoot a 3, he shimmies. We see guys shoot 3s, they hold the poles. If I score a touchdown, I can do whatever I want. We see guys do first down. But in baseball, all the rules seem to be unwritten, what you can and can't do.
Well, you can't show up the other team. You just can't.
Exactly.
Because the pitcher's got a weapon in his hand. That's what happens.
That's the thing. That's the thing, though, Skip. That is not a rule in the rule book per se.
No.
It says I can't celebrate after hitting a home run. But
which brings us to the losing pitcher for the Houston Astros.
I know.
Justin Verlander is now 0-6 in the World Series.
7 starts.
In 7 starts. And clearly, he's a Hall of Fame pitcher. We know that. He did win 1 Cy Young Award and 1 MVP. But he has been much more of a disaster to me in the postseason than the Dodgers' Clayton Kershaw. But somehow Clayton Kershaw takes way more abuse. I don't know exactly why, because it has been ingrained in the national consciousness that he's a choker in the postseason. But Justin Verlander, all he does is come up small in the postseason. In this postseason alone, he's 1-5. So the Astros have gotten to Game 7 of the World Series in spite of Justin Verlander.
Well, Skip, here's why I think Justin Verlander has gotten a break. Is because if you look at him, he leads the postseason in strikeouts. He passed John Smoltz early in the playoffs. But he's 14-5 in the first 2 rounds with a 2.83 ERA. So when you factor that in, Skip, 14-5 with a 2.83.
Okay, but he's 14-11 overall, right. And on the biggest stage, he's 0-6.
Right, but see, they saying like where Kershaw doesn't, and plus he got Skip. Once you get that ring, and that's what he has from 2 years ago when he won. A lot of things seem to get swept up under the rug about how bad he's actually been.
So Kershaw's 9-11 in the postseason, but he's just 1-2 in the World Series, so he's not 0-6.
Right.
He's 1-2.
Right.
And I do think somehow Justin Verlander gets some pass here because it's not become a big story that he's come up that small in so many big stage games, right?
Especially and Strasburg made a name for himself. He
has this year.
Yeah, that's the thing, Skip. Yeah. You knew he had the talent. He has a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. He can throw the changeup, the slider. He got all the pitches.
He's got it all.
But can he stay healthy? Yeah. He seemed to have put it together now, Skip. And when you do this, Skip, that's how pitchers make their name. Pitchers make it, quarterbacks in postseason, pitchers in the postseason. Jack Morris, we saw what he did with the Twins, Skip. He made a name for himself. If you can do it on the big stage in the World Series, you'll... Mo Rivera, you look at all these pitchers, Skip. When you do it in this stage, in this moment,
that's true.
This is how you live for perpetuity.
Which brings us to tonight. Game 7 on Fox.
I got Nationals.
Scherzer versus Greinke.
I got Nationals.
You do?
I got Mad Max.
Really?
I'm taking Scherzer.
Really?
Yeah. You want some dew on it?
Surprise, I do not, because I also have the Nationals because I think they have become the meant-to-be team of this postseason. They just keep surviving. I like their togetherness. I like their unity. I like their little kid celebrations they do in their dugout. I think they have some mojo going.
I agree with you. But anytime that guy, Scherzer, takes the mound, he's a no-hitter waiting to happen.
He's tough, man.
He's a no-hitter waiting to happen. He has electric stuff. Now he's gonna be juiced. Hopefully, you know he was scratched on Sunday.
He's got a neck spasm sometimes.
But boy, They was warming him up. They thought they might have to leave in a save situation.
I hope he didn't leave too much in the bullpen.
He coming.
Okay.
He gonna be gas. I know he's throwing. Coming out the box throwing 98.
So in no World Series had the road team ever won 6 games in a row.
Yeah.
And that happened last night. And I think it's going to be 7 games in a row.
Well, it's the first time in MLB, NBA, or NHL.
There you go.
That's fascinating to me.
Fascinating.
Look. And the thing is, the drama that we wanted was not the kind of drama that we got last night. We wanted drama as far as home runs, a nip-and-tuck ball game, not the controversial call.
No.
But we did get a little drama. Bergman, thank you. Breckman, thank you for taking the bat to first base.
Carry that bat.
That's the way to follow it up.
That's the way to follow it up, and I'm with you. You should have just carried his bat all the way around.
I'd have carried it all the way around.
Yep.
Boy.
Dave Martinez said he did not like Soto carrying his bat, but I think deep down they were like,
you're not finna show me up. You think you gonna be on TV showing me up, taking your bat, and pretend like, I forgot it, take this. I forgot I had it. You know what I'm saying, Skip?
What will we see tonight, though, honestly?
How you forget you got your bat? Skip, you run to first base, and you forget you got the bat in your hand.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He didn't forget.
Exactly.
He did not forget.
And Soto didn't forget he had it either.
Game 7 tonight, 7:30 Eastern on Fox. I am so looking forward to that one.
No mercy.
Anthony Davis and the Lakers had their way with the Grizzlies last night. 80 went off, dropping 40 points and 20 rebounds in only 31 minutes. This is the fastest a player reached 40-20 in a game since minutes were first tracked in 1951. Crazy, and Davis is only the 6th Laker ever to have a 40-20 game, and he set a Lakers franchise record with 26 made free throws on only 27 attempts. LeBron had 23 points in the win and said that 80 hasn't, quote, even scratched the surface yet. We're now joined by Fox NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Good morning.
Morning.
How impressive was 80?
Well, I told Shannon, don't worry about the Lakers. They're going to be all right.
Not only are they all right, we already had a parade this morning.
Shannon was up early.
The Grizzlies, right?
Leading the way.
Grizzlies. Obviously, look, physically, he was obviously great. There's no question about it. Most of his baskets were at the rim with alley-oops. The one from LeBron was a tremendous play. Even to throw that pass, I like that from LeBron, and obviously finished the reverse kind of layup dunk. But what I liked most physically was his drive into the basket, the dribble drives. And he didn't finish most of those because he got fouled. But I like it. It was like, okay, you don't just have to throw it to him in the post. You don't just have to pass it to him and he'll hit a mid-range jumper or a 3. he was taking it off the dribble. And I think they're going to need that ability to create a shot. So I like that from AD. But for all the great physical things, the 26 or 27 free throws, I mean, that's phenomenal.
It is.
Not only, he's a good free throw shooter, 80% career, but mentally, that's tough.
Yeah.
You know, once you've hit 10 in a row, you start, okay, I'm due for a miss, or, you know, that shows some mental toughness. But more than anything, if I'm a Laker fan, this is what I like most. The fact that he played. The fact that he played through the physical pain of the injury, because we know that's his reputation. There are people around the league that will tell you he's soft. Mm-hmm. And we know he missed 17 games on average over his first 4 seasons.
Yep.
And so the fact that he played last night was huge. He had every reason in the world not to play.
Early in the year. It's
right.
Grizzlies.
It's all about the playoffs, load management. Like, nobody really could have criticized. We would have said, oh, here we go again, he's soft.
Especially you.
But it would, but it would have been a legitimate excuse.
I already did. I already told you.
It would have been he had legitimate excuses, I think. You saw him with the thing on his shoulder on the bench. So the fact that he played through it, I think, speaks to 2 things. 1, he wants to dispel that perception. Mm-hmm. And 2, I think this is the influence of LeBron James on him. And I don't want to turn this into a LeBron discussion, but LeBron is an Iron Man. No matter what you say about him, he's an Iron Man, right? Is. And I almost think there's an unspoken agreement between them, unspoken. Whereas LeBron is like, look, I'm going to make you the best player you can be. We're going to run the offense through you. You're going to lead us in scoring. Maybe you'll be MVP this year or whatever. You're going to be your team. Mm-hmm. What I want from you is 100% effort and commitment. And I think if he's in New Orleans, he probably doesn't play last night. But I think not only being with LeBron in L.A., but being a part of Clutch and having, access to LeBron, just seeing how hard he works off the court to get in shape, I think that's rubbing off on AD, and I think it was good.
I like the aggressiveness, Skip, because he has a hurt shoulder. Putting the ball on the court, put it on the floor, going to the rim. You're going to collide, you're going to bang shoulders. Like, you know what? Let me just spell this. Show everybody why Shannon Sharpe picked me to be the MVP. Told you going to be the MVP.
Yeah.
And I believe 28-14 in 2.5 with 56 wins will do that just quite nicely. Quite nicely.
Help me out. My memory fades. How many did you score against the Clippers in the 4th quarter? Help me out.
Skip, that was
0 for 2.
Skip, you do know.
Same amount he scored last night.
He scored none last night in the 4th because he watched.
We rested. Skip, you do know you're allowed to have a bad game or a bad quarter.
Against a good team.
It's the first game.
I enjoyed watching that scrimmage against Long Beach State.
When Phoenix when the Phoenix Clippers, he didn't say nothing.
Hey, Phoenix is pretty
good. Now Phoenix is pretty good. It's Charles Barkley and Kevin Johnson.
Right.
But, look, this is what we knew he was capable of doing. And I think the thing is, like you said, had he been in New Orleans, he probably would not have played because it's like, I'm in New Orleans. When you put up these kind of numbers, because it's not like Anthony Davis hadn't had a 40-20 game. He'd had a 59-20 game. But when you do that in the purple and gold, there's something about when you do something as a big in the purple and gold, it has meaning, it has value. And now he's playing for something. He realizes that he has a realistic chance at getting to winning an NBA championship. I don't know deep down if he ever really thought that, Skip, because, look, when Golden State had that thing going on, you wasn't coming out of the West. It wasn't happening unless 2 of those guys got hurt. Now, if Clay and KD had gotten hurt before the Western Conference Finals, now all bets are off. But if KD was healthy enough to play a lot of that, except the Portland series. But Skip, he's phenomenal. I mean, and they started keeping minutes counts in 1951. Right. They say this is the fastest anybody ever had a 40-20 game. 31 minutes. Can you imagine Skip Bayless? If he'd have played 5 minutes into the 4th quarter, I'm thinking 50-25. A whip. He'd have had a whip average. In 62, a whip average 50-25 for a season.
Right.
Skip, he's special. And LeBron says, Skip got upset. LeBron says, we got AD, we're going to play through him. If we're not going to play through him, why get it? He's a liar. And LeBron, you think he will leave? You think he's going to do that? Oh, LeBron.
It's early.
You think it's going to change?
Early.
I'm impressed by LeBron really just conceding the spotlight. I'm
glad you brought that up.
There you go. See, there you go.
I found this quote via The Athletic. This is from 2 days ago, so it was ahead of the Memphis game last night.
What do you say?
I'm sorry, the Long Beach State game last night. This is Anthony Davis on how LeBron has reduced Anthony's workload during games. And here's the quote. This is AD. Just knowing that I'm probably going to play the whole third quarter and then kind of sit a little bit through the fourth, I try to tell LeBron, like, this is your time. Just go out and be you. Well, that sounds like, I need you, Robin. Just go out and do your Robin thing for a little while.
You
know, it sounds like he's talking like he's the superstar and LeBron is the second fiddle. That's how that resonates as a second fiddle quote toward LeBron. And LeBron is not going to love it if this kind of stuff keeps up from AD, because it seems like he's big brother to, or aging little brother, you know, like
we feeding him. We feed
I
the
hear
beast.
that. I hear that. That's interesting. I hope LeBron didn't see that quote.
Hey, this is your time. Just go be you. Just go do your little Robin thing for a while.
You see in the first, LeBron not even really looking for his shot. All he's doing is trying to get the ball to AD. He's trying to feed him. I mean, he had 20-12 at the half, so you know it's just a matter of time. Was he going to be able to play long enough to get to 40? Now, I didn't envision 20-8 in the third quarter. I thought he would eventually get there if the game was going to stay close, but then they end up blowing the game wide open. They go on like a 23-0 run, and the game is over from all intents and purposes.
The third quarter score was AD 20, Memphis 20. Okay? And yet, Anthony Davis scored one basket in the whole second half. One basket and scored 40 points. How did he do that? He shot 18 free throws in the third quarter alone. That's the NBA record because he made all 18. And to your point, it's hard to make 5 straight free throws because it starts working on your psyche. Like, wait a second, I got to make another one? James Harden can get on a roll, but he's the only one I've ever seen do that kind of a roll. He makes 26 of 27, but the key was he makes 18 straight in the third quarter. It's impossible because who's ever shot 18? Right. Nobody ever shoots 18 in the third quarter. Right. Do the math times 4. What if he shot 18 every quarter? It's over, right? I mean, God.
But Skip, he only took one shot where they wasn't fouling him. Stop fouling him. You don't want him to shoot free throws, stop fouling him. Move your feet.
What this could be is kind of a reverse of Magic and Kareem, where Magic carried Kareem. Kareem was older, still productive because of the sky hook. But, Magic extended that championship window for Kareem. This could be that with LeBron and AD. Okay. Like AD extended that.
Kareem did win the MVP of the regular season, Magic's rookie year. People forget that.
Right. Oh, he was early on he was still in his prime.
All right, I buy that. But I remind you, Anthony Davis missed his 2 media sessions ahead of last night's game. That will cost him some money.
Me and Bron and I going to cover that.
But he missed them because they were not sure whether he could play or not. And it was a game-time decision, said Frank Vogel, going all the way up to game time last night. But to your point, he played through it. In his quote after the game, it was bothering me a lot. It was very sore of his shoulder, which he hurt hanging on the rim on a failed dunk attempt late in the Charlotte game. So he can be a little brittle because that doesn't seem like the kind of action that would cause you to really hurt your shoulder, but you never know.
Right.
And he toughed it out and played, to your point. He did that. Now, will this linger? Will this be nagging?
You know what, Skip? When you think about it, AD was of an average height until he became a senior, and then he grew like 7-8 inches.
Well, he was a guard.
Yeah, so maybe he grew too much too quick.
Maybe.
And everything is not collected like it's supposed to be.
Okay, when you call him a Laker big man, I wince a little bit because I do not consider him that big because he's not that tall, right?
But what is he listed at now?
I think like 16 and a half.
6'10"?
I think he's 6'10".
Yeah, 6'10",
and he's got long arms.
But the thing is, Skip, he's not like, when you think big, you thinking Shaq, you thinking Will, you thinking Kareem,
Yeah.
So he doesn't play the 5.
No. He does not. Well, he said he didn't want to, and then occasionally...
Until the other night.
To start.
Until the other night. It all depends.
Get used to
it. All depends on how... Memphis wanted to go small. Frank Vogel said, thank you.
So, here comes Dallas, and then there goes San Antonio on Sunday. Let's see what starts happening.
They did a little tougher, because Dallas got the new Nash and Dirk.
Yes, they weren't last night, but they won the game.
They got a big team, too. They throw out Boban and Porzingis and Luka.
Boban, he doesn't need basketball. He's the star of John Wick 3. So okay.
Boban just stand up for the goal and just dunk it. He just get the ball and just don't even... We got some.
Way.
No, we ain't worried about Friday because we gonna handle that Sunday.
Sunday, you got something
I have
for
a
us?
feeling we'll have
LaMarcus.
plenty to talk about.
Just for LaMarcus.
We got DeMar.
We got some other players.
Oh, y'all got Murray. Who I just want to know who's gonna guard LeBron.
Huh?
DeMar?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh, DeMar, he's laughing.
Sorry. I think we all were.
Do you remember what happened to LeBron?
Wait, you
DeMar-
should have
and
rephrased that. You mean who's going to guard Robin? I think DeMar can guard
Robin.
There you go. You remember what LeBron did to DeMar in Toronto? You know, for 4 straight years.
DeMar don't want to see LeBron. No.
Yeah, but DeMar's got some real help now.
Oh, he has some help.
No mercy.
So Dak Prescott, he leads the league in QBR, but some still see flaws in the quarterback's game. When assessing quarterbacks midway through the season, one anonymous evaluator questioned his accuracy, saying, quote, "In my opinion, he is not naturally accurate. And when things tighten up, he has games like he did against the Jets. I just think he is a middle-of-the-road guy that's always going to be up and down." Fox NFL analyst James Harrison is now with us. James, are you sold on Dak?
I'm not down on Dak as Shannon is, but I'm not up on him as Skip is.
Middle of the road.
He's middle of the road. He's middle of the road.
You know what? This is the first time I've ever heard of James Harrison middle of the road. He just doesn't seem like a middle of the road guy.
He is not.
He's average.
He's like way over here, way over here.
No.
What is
Dak
He's
is.
average.
That's
You want a franchise
That's
quarterback.
negative.
No, it's
Okay,
not
well,
negative.
you're dismissing.
A franchise quarterback over his whole career, he's got only 7 games that's over, 300 yards. He's got 33 games that are actually over 200, but he's still got 19 games that are under 200 yards.
I mean,
my franchise, he got a defense, he got everything else.
Okay.
He got Zeke. If he didn't have Zeke, he wouldn't have nothing.
I know.
Okay,
Zeke just
the
carried.
Jets game. Let's go to the Jets game. Zeke
Thank
get
you.
100 yards. When
Please.
Zeke get 100 yards, they usually win. Zeke get 100 yards and almost a half 100 in the passing game, and Dak still can't pull through and do something to get that win.
Can he play safety? Help me out.
Listen, I could play quarterback against the 26th ranked, the 28th ranked, and the 30th ranked.
32nd ranked.
They made Sam Darnold look like Joe Namath. For one day, he had the day of his life, and he'll never have another day like it.
And Miami made Dak Prescott look like Joe Montana.
Oh, okay.
And how did he look against New Orleans?
You know, Russell Wilson made Dak Prescott look like Joe Montana in a playoff game. Well, I saw it.
Can he play safety?
And you know what?
Right.
Can Dak Prescott has looked like Brett Favre against Aaron Rodgers every time they play.
No,
I don't know how it happens, but it just does.
Whoa.
Go ahead. Keep digging that hole.
Like I said, he is not a franchise quarterback. He's not a guy that's going to go out there.
He is not a franchise. Says James Harrison, not a franchise
I don't see
quarterback.
him as a franchise. A franchise quarterback goes out there and wins you games. Wins without anything else. He can win it by his lonesome if he has to. He can't do that. He hasn't done that.
In 3.5 years in the league, he has the second best starting quarterback record to that guy up in Foxborough. Second best.
And he has Zeke all the time.
Well, he's had him some of the time.
I had to stop that. Because when he didn't have him, what happened?
Well, they had nobody.
No,
They didn't have any defense.
No, because here's the thing. This is what I know. In 2016, he had the best offensive line in football.
True.
Had Zeke, led the league in rushing. In 2017, best offensive line in football. Okay, Tyron Smith did go out, but when Zeke.
Yeah, keep going.
See, Skip, this is where you make your bones. You see, when you don't have...
Was Ty Smith there?
I said Ty Smith.
He wasn't there?
I said Ty Smith.
We'll make it.
I said I will give you
And they replaced him with Chaz Green, who couldn't block me.
Now that's disrespectful.
Wow.
But Skip.
Well, he's not in the league anymore.
But
so
see, here's the thing. But here's the thing, though. Sometimes great quarterbacks, what they can do.
Okay, wait, you didn't go to 2018. What happened? Zeke's there and he's rolling, man. What happened? First 8 games. What happened? Help me out.
Zeke was leading the league in rushing.
Oh, so they go 3-5, and Zeke is carrying that mail. He's the driving force of that team, and they go 3-5.
Leading the league in rushing.
And what?
3-5. Where was he, Shannon?
The quarterback.
Yeah.
I thought the quarterback was very good with his arm.
The quarterback had nobody to throw to for the first 8 games. All of a sudden, Jerry Jones said, I'm going to make the move of the year. I'm going to go get Amari Cooper. Boom. My quarterback took off, and so did the football team. And my quarterback was the driving force of the last 10 games, and they won 8 of them.
Okay, you know what, Skip? I'm not going to even go back to last year. I'm going to stick it to I'm going to keep it this year.
No, you can't go back to last year because you can't defend what happened last year.
You didn't win the Super Bowl, so I can go back to last year.
Well, he won a playoff game, outplayed the guy you said is the MVP right now, Russell Wilson.
I just want to know, why does a franchise quarterback, right,
Yeah.
go 3 straight weeks scoring 3 points, 3 points, 3 points in the first.
Well,
half.
wait. You tell me that the driving force of the team is Ezekiel Elliott. Where was he? How can you? I'm going to turn the question back on you. Why can Zeke Elliott score 3, 3, and 3 in the first quarters of those games? Help me out. He's the only reason that they win. Tell me. You don't have an answer. Where was Zeke?
If you let me talk.
You got no answer.
If you let me talk.
Come on.
This is not about Zeke. This is about the accuracy. And
it is about Zeke because you're telling me he's not a franchise quarterback and the reason they win is Zeke Elliott. Well, how did they go 3, 3, and 3? Help me out. I don't know.
You tell me the quarterback is the most important position. He's the most valuable
position. You tell me it's not.
Except
you tell me Aaron Donald's the best player in pro football, so you do not accept that premise that
you're talking about Dak, not Aaron Donald.
Okay. No, I'm trying to explain. He says the quarterback position is the most valuable. That's what I say. Okay. You disagree.
Okay.
You're in the Hall of Fame. I'm not.
Okay, well, then tell me this. Why you only scored 3 points in the first half against Aaron Rodgers?
Okay. Well, where was Zeke? Where was he? Was he out there?
No.
You know who I saw? I saw Aaron Jones. I saw him just take the whole game over. Wow. Oh. He's the MVP of the Packers. The other Aaron.
Hey, James, you see what's happening? You see what happens when they lose? Zeke ain't running the ball. My quarterback, if Zeke can run, my quarterback.
He got to deflect.
Tell me when it's my
turn. It's your turn.
Thank you.
Take off.
Dak Prescott suffers from this myth of inaccuracy that is tattooed on his forehead like a bad label, erroneously, unfairly bad label, tattooed, inaccurate across his forehead. And it is so absolutely wrong because over those last 10 games last year, after he got Amari Cooper, he simply led the whole NFL in completions. He led the whole NFL in what are called catchable passes because he's hitting everybody right here. And let's go back to that harsh, sarcastic, negative quote.
It wasn't sarcastic.
It's some lazy quote from some evaluator who just doesn't even watch Dak. And he dug in early on, 4th round pick. He can't throw. He's inaccurate. He probably wrote some report on him early and just said he can't play.
You being lazy now by saying he's being lazy, but he don't watch that.
Lazy because if you watched, you'd give up the ghost on that opinion because it's a ghost opinion.
No, the ghost beat you guys.
Yeah, this quarterback has become the most underappreciated, over-criticized quarterback in the history of this league because all he does do is win, but all he does is keep dominating statistics because I told you what he did the last 10 games last year, and now over the first 7 games this year, he leads the whole league in QBR. You cannot be inaccurate and lead this league in QBR.
Yes, because they factor legs in.
Pro Football Focus evaluates each quarterback's play through the halfway point. They pick their mid-season All-Pro team. Russell Wilson got first team All-Pro. Second team, honorable mention, Dak Prescott. That's ahead of Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees.
You think Dak Prescott has outplayed Aaron Rodgers this year?
I do.
I do. You would take Dak Prescott over Aaron Rodgers?
I would right now. Going forward, Aaron's getting up there in age.
Going forward, going sideways,
right now.
I'll take him going forward.
Right now.
And let's go back to that Jets game in which this guy just trashes him for. Although the quote is, Mike Sando writes in The Athletic, that is not necessarily the prevailing opinion. Another evaluator praised Prescott for his accuracy early in the Jets game and came away impressed at the quarterback's toughness after Prescott kept coming back
accuracy
after taking
early,
pressure.
up, down, like he was saying. He's.
There was no up-down because against the Jets, Michael Gallup dropped 3 passes. They dropped 5 total, and they didn't have either star tackle. So Greg Williams said, boy, you would have licked your chops in this game. He just said, we're coming after you every time. Every pass he threw, somebody was hitting him in the face or knocking him down. And all he
led
did,
the league in rushing. He should have ran.
Okay. Well, he can run the ball too, which he finally did to put them back in position to win this game. But all he did is bring them from 21 to 3 down, and his QBR for that game was 74. Sam Darnold had the day of his life, and his QBR was 68, 74 to 68. So my guy ended up outplaying him on a day when the defense did not show up. It was pathetic what happened because the Jets ran over my
defense in the Jets.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. What I can't understand is that when Dak doesn't play well or they don't win, you always, the tackles weren't there, and Zeke didn't do this.
Well, it's just true. It's just true. Amari didn't play in this game.
But the great one, Skip, can rise above guys missing.
He did. He brought him all the way from 23 back. He brought him all the way back to a 2-point conversion pass upon which Marcus May mugged Jason with.
Now you blame the rest.
Well, we don't have time to go back and look at the play. It's an absolute. He got tackled before the ball got there.
I'm saying, see, you looking at it like, okay, he throw the ball, receiver catches the ball. I'm saying he leaves yards on the field. It's one thing, James can sack the quarterback. But what James get the added bonus is taking the ball away from the quarterback.
Strip sack.
See, when you just throw the ball and I get a completion, as opposed to Aaron Rodgers or some of these other great quarterbacks throwing and hit the guy in stride, and they get a 30-yard catch and run.
You're saying he has
that's
no
the difference.
accuracy issues at all? Like he can't. It hasn't been a bunch of times where he could have put it on the money, and this guy.
The best quarterbacks throw a few inaccurate passes a game. I saw Aaron Rodgers throw one the other night that missed Jimmy Graham by 10 yards.
With a touchdown.
Thank you. Look what I found. Thank you, God.
Don't do that, Skip. Don't do that. Now, you know good well you ain't going to compare. I mean, for you to sit there and say you're going to take Dak over Aaron Rodgers.
I just would. He's played better the whole year than Aaron Rodgers has.
That's like, I can't believe that.
Oh, come on. You're just overhyping. See, you're trying to remember Aaron Rodgers 5 years ago.
Skip, the man is 16-2.
Yeah. Well, my guy has outplayed.
12
You want to go back at the 3 games they played against? Is it 3 or 4?
Y'all you called there 4 of them.
4 times.
He 3-1.
Wow. Yep. My guy's outplayed him.
No,
overall.
he didn't.
He has. Overall, in those 4 games, my guy has a better QBR than he has in all 4 of those games. All 4 combined. Let's combine them and look at it.
On my menu, I got a short menu. Wow. You come to my restaurant, all you get is dubs and L's.
Yeah.
I took almost and maybe. I took that off the menu.
Well, if my guy had Aaron Jones at running back, maybe.
You got, so now Zeke is a bust.
Zeke is a, right.
So Zeke is a bust. I want to get you on record.
Yes, please tell me on that.
Who looks faster right now, Aaron Jones or Zeke Elliott?
Tell me who
faster. Who looks more electric to you? Who catches it and runs with it better right now? What did you see on Sunday night?
Aaron Jones is a different type of running back than Zeke.
Okay.
Zeke is a.
Who looks more valuable right now?
Okay,
I think Aaron Jones.
Take Zeke away and you'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take Zeke away.
He's the best I got right now.
No.
He's the best you
got. Even you agree.
Let Tony Pollard take it.
Huh?
That politics.
He's a little quicker and more elusive than Zeke is.
Yeah.
Zeke's turned into Earl Campbell. Do you remember Earl Campbell?
I don't know if Zeke is going to take this lightly.
He's okay. He's still he's the best I got. But
he's
the best you got.
He's lost a little quickness.
Whoa.
You know, and my quarterback just keeps getting better. The quarterback is the driving force.
The quarterback?
Yeah.
Who did they pay? Yeah. Who did they pay first?
That's interesting.
The running back. Why? Because they knew without him, we had no shot.
Cabo. The quarterback didn't go to Cabo. He could have.
If he went to Cabo, they'd have probably found somebody else in the draft and been all right.
Who's the leader of my football team? Who's one of the best leaders in sports?
We're not debating that.
And by the way, back to the Jets game, that was as courageous a quarterback performance as I've ever seen. And I've been watching football a lot longer than you two combined played football. Combined.
So you just old and
accuracy.
It has to do with performance.
He didn't.
That was an unbelievable performance that day.
Skip.
Degree of difficulty with 5 drops to bring him back to within a 2-point conversion.
Let me ask you.
I just sat back in awe of it.
Let me say this for the sake of argument. Baseball since which World Series? I'm a pitcher.
Okay.
I strike out 27, but I give up the game-winning home run. What the hell have I done?
So what did the quarterback give up that day? Help me out. Wait a second.
He gave up that L.
Did he throw an interception that day at the Jets with all that pressure on him?
Did he throw a touchdown?
No, did he throw an interception? These are the negatives. You said you gave it up.
Yes.
I want to know what he gave up. He got sacked. He got knocked down 12 times. Did he lose the football one time?
No.
Not once.
Did he?
Not once. Did he cough up the football under fire like no one?
I need him to put the offense in the end zone more than the opposing team.
And then
did he do that?
What did my quarterback do to your Eagles? He just dismantled them.
He did.
Whoa.
He did.
I don't know about the Eagles. They kind of up and down.
That's
dismantled.
Of the 4, think about it.
Yep.
That's their best win. You beat Miami. Did you see Miami on Monday night?
Oh,
yeah.
Did you see?
I saw him get up 14-0. I did.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
And you saw the head coach zero blitz on 3rd and 20.
But weren't they still ahead at that point?
3rd and 22.
Okay. What about Washington?
With 25 seconds.
What about Washington?
Yeah, they got a lot of good players. Did you see that first team All-Pro team? They had the first team cornerback.
Who?
The Redskins did.
Stop it.
Well, they did.
Washington should have nobody on no team.
Defense or something like
Washington should have nobody on no team.
I'll give you that. But the Eagles, you say, are going to win the NFC East. And my team just took them apart because my quarterback played at a supremely high level, just as he did twice last year. So he outplayed Carson Wentz twice, and you say Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott.
Everybody said that.
Now, wait a second. Dak Prescott has outplayed him 3 times and beaten him 3 straight times.
Okay, we'll
interesting.
See.
What you got, Shannon?
Do you believe the Cowboys are going to get another 4 turnover game from the Eagles? Because I don't.
The Eagles? I don't know.
I don't.
Yeah?
I don't.
Well, you better not, or you're going to lose again.
You're not losing.
Yeah.
We're not losing.
Dak loves to play at Philly. He just loves it.
No, he doesn't.
Home away from home.
I know Aaron Rodgers loves playing the Cowboys. Home, way, doesn't matter.
Definitely.
As a matter of fact, he done something in Cowboy Stadium that the Cowboys never done. He won a Super Bowl there.
He put a hex on him.
He won a Super Bowl.
Something happened.
Hey.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
I don't even.
That is.
My bad. My bad.
That's a sensitive area.
Yeah.
My bad. I forgot. My bad. I don't even know why I brought it up.
Apologies around here. Shannon is speechless.
No mercy.
Kawhi Leonard has become arguably the best player in the league and now has 2 Finals MVPs to back him up. Hornets head coach James Borrego was with the Spurs for 3 seasons with Kawhi and said, quote, "Nobody saw this coming in Kawhi." Now, Chris Broussard is back with us, but Skip, because we are talking Kawhi, I know this one, it's personal for you in a lot of ways. How much have you seen Kawhi improve?
By the way, he's still number 2 to me.
No, it ain't Kawhi.
Not there yet.
Here's my bottom line to watching this guy as closely as I've watched him since he was drafted 15th overall by the San Antonio Spurs. In all my years of watching the NBA, of covering it, loving the NBA, I have never, ever seen a superstar, a potential best player in the game of his time, improve as much as this guy has since he was drafted. Never. Because all the other superstars at least flashed some of their greatness when they were in college, even if it was just for a year. You saw flashes of it. I watched this guy play only 1 college game, but I did follow him at San Diego State. I watched him play Jimmer Fredette's team in their conference final, and they just blew him out, and they were all over Jimmer. He had a long night that night. But this guy did not catch my eye when he played for San Diego State because this guy could really defend, but he was mostly just an athlete who could dunk, a little bit of rebounding, average 2 assists a game. So I didn't see the passing. I didn't see any shooting at all because he had no real shot. So I couldn't see anything that has now emerged. And I definitely couldn't see it after they drafted him 15th overall because that move shocked the whole league and all the draft experts. Nobody saw that coming. R.C. Buford, I always tell you guys, best GM in basketball, has the best eye for talent in all of basketball. You know, he went down and plucked Tony Parker at the bottom of the first round and Manu Ginobili at the bottom of the second round. We could go on and on. But this one, he gave up George Hill for this pick. George Hill? He even got Davis Bertans, who's turned out to be pretty good. They gave him away because they were going to have Marcus Morris on their team, and they got burned on that deal. But again, Davis is pretty good, and he's playing for Washington now. But they got him back, and they got number 2 back in this deal for George Hill. I never even liked George Hill that much, so I wasn't losing any sleep over that. But when he first came to the Spurs, he couldn't shoot a lick. And I saw no playmaking skills because he didn't seem to have any passing instincts in his repertoire yet. So for that guy to grow this much, there's never been anything like it before. And I agree with the quote you just read because nobody saw it coming even his first 2 years in San Antonio. And he did break through in 2014 and win MVP of the finals. But I've showed you, you could have given it to Timmy Duncan, you could have given it to Manu, or you could have given it to Tony Parker. I can make cases for all of them, but they did give it to him. And he can defend LeBron, but you always throw back at me, it's all like 28, 8, 8.
28, 7, 6.
Okay, all right, and I'm with you on that.
And he was a role player that regular season.
He was a role player, okay? So to me, the emergence of this guy that I keep watching from night to night, the other night it was just Charlotte, I give you this, but he's turned into this unbelievable playmaker with Jordan-esque ability to to hang and shoot that jump shot.
Yes.
And the Spurs sort of shot coach, if you will, Chip England, taught him a shot, and boy, he keeps taking it up a level and up another level. It is an unstoppable mid-range jump shot. And his three-point stroke is looking pretty good, and he can make free throws, and now he can play make because he's so patient. It's like he's got the game on a string. He waits, and then he takes advantage of this, and it's a little slick bounce pass, foul dunk. You know, he is playing at a supremely high level that I didn't see in his first 2 years in San Antonio, and I definitely didn't see at San Diego State, where he averaged 16 points a game.
This is what happens when you get an opportunity, Skip. You have to credit Kawhi for keep putting in the work and for keep getting better and better. But you have to understand,
he
Skip,
does work at it.
Outside of the injury, he's improved his scoring every single year. And people say, well, I didn't see this playmaking. He had Tony Parker, who had the ball. He needed to be ball dominant. And when Tony Parker went to the bench, who did they put the ball in his hands? Manu Ginobili. So he's a quiet guy. He goes to a team that has Timmy Duncan, who's a 2-time regular season MVP, a 3-time finals MVP. He's not wired like Kobe that automatically goes to a team and says, I'm the best player on the team.
Okay.
It's kind of like New England and San Antonio are a lot alike. What players go into San Antonio and New England says, I'm the best player on the team, I'm better than Tom Brady? That's not how he's wired. He goes to Toronto. Kyle Lowry has the ball. So he's not in a situation so he can show you that he can play make. But Skip, when you look at it, it took some guys it takes longer to flourish. And when they get that opportunity, look at Steve Nash. Steve Nash was just a guy. He didn't make the All-Star till the 6th season. And then once he took off, he was a 2-time league MVP.
Yeah, but he was a little bit a product of that Mike D'Antoni system.
And look at Giannis. Look how far Giannis has come. Wasn't Giannis a lower draft pick than Kawhi?
I know, but you could see when I first watched Giannis play, I could say, "Wow, look at that!"
Yeah, the size, athleticism.
Look how skinny. Man, the dude like 7 foot tall and skinny. And James Harden. Anybody that tell you that they saw this coming from James Harden when he was the sixth man in OKC.
No, but I watched him a lot at Arizona State, and he had that slither.
Yeah,
he could just get to the rack.
But Skip, nobody saw what James Harden is doing. Yeah. I mean, you got to go back. I mean, only a handful of guys in the last 30 years could score the basketball like James Harden. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Nobody else can do this. Dude averaged 36. Jordan averaged 37-1. That great season he had, and Kobe was 35. James Harden in the middle with 36. So
yeah, but trust me, in 2012 against the Spurs in the playoffs, James Harden just took the games over. He was the guy making the daggers when he was the sixth man for Oklahoma City.
But you did see,
I saw it coming.
But you saw it in San Antonio. Yeah. He was all NBA. The moment Tim Duncan left,
talking about Kawhi.
The moment Tim Duncan left, Skip, and Coach Pop put more responsibility on his plate. He's for all NBA twice. He's Defensive Player of the Year twice.
I think Shannon makes an interesting point that a lot of it, now, granted, he's improved by leaps and bounds, but I do think he may have been capable of showing more early on in his career, because as Shannon said, it was running through the big three in San Antonio. Kawhi was just a role player, and you're right, he didn't look like he had much of a jump shot, but if you look at his numbers three-point-wise, he's consistent. His rookie year, he shot 37% from three, career 38% from three. Now he's at 36. So, I mean, he's always, now he didn't shoot it as much, maybe 1.5, 2 a game early on. But his percentage three-point-wise is the same. And you're right, the playmaking was never asked of him, but you did see it once Duncan and those guys left. I remember that series with Houston. When in Memphis in those games, he was playmaking like a point forward. And they were running through him. So I do think he had maybe more than he could have shown, but they just need him to be a role player. What's interesting to me, I think some players have improved more. Gary Payton, now I know he was a star in college, but when he came into the league, he struggled his first 3 years.
Okay, but I saw Gary Payton in college.
We knew, I give you that. We all knew how great he was.
He was always there.
I mean, he was on the cover of Sports
Illustrated for his mouth and all that. And you already talked about Nash, Stockton. Didn't start really like his first 3 years. This is the thing that's intriguing to me. If you go all the way back into the 60s and maybe beyond, the guy that's been the best player in the world, whether you want to say it was Bill Russell, Wilt, or Oscar in the 60s, Dr. J or Kareem in the 70s, Magic and Bird in the 80s, Jordan in the 90s, up to Shaq and Kobe and LeBron. All of them have been one of two things. childhood prodigies, where you just knew what they were, or, to your point, they come into the NBA and we know they're supers, like Jordan. Even if you want to say Olajuwon for those few years, once you knew, okay, when he's drafted, by that point you knew he was a star. This is intriguing to me because I do think Kawhi deserves the title right now, best player in the world. Now, whether, will Giannis take it this year? Will LeBron? Will AD? It's up for grabs. But right now, based on what he did last year, what he's done so far, I think it's fair to say it's Kawhi. Never have we seen the best player, to your point, best player in the world be a guy that kind of came out of nowhere.
Right, because he did play at San Diego State, and he didn't register.
Right.
I mean,
he was good in the tournament. I remember he made a little noise.
They won a couple games, lost to UConn, but it wasn't like this.
It was kind of like what, Timmy stayed all 4 years.
He did.
But you knew, like, but you knew when he got his kid, like, this dude's special.
Yep.
This dude is special. And being the best player, Skip, I just think with Kawhi's personality, he went in like, I'm happy to be here. I'm not going to upset this apple cart because it's been going along so good. Yep. You got Tim Duncan, you got Manu, you got Tony Parker. And how do you come in and say, I'm better than all three of you guys?
Okay, but just I get you, and you're right about that. And he was kind of a shrinking violet the first couple. He's like, do I deserve to be here? He's got shrugging shoulders, his eyes are down. But if he were the guy that you see today with that chest out, if he'd walked onto the floor with his talent as a rookie, those other three would have said, he's that good. Because we've seen guys come in, like when Magic joined the Lakers, they just said, he's the guy.
Well, probably, Skip, if he was a point guard, you got the ball in your hand. But even then, Kareem was the regular season MVP. So Magic did not just come in and say, it's my team now. Kareem was still throwing that sky hook. Magic, we knew Magic was special because we saw him in '79, Skip.
We saw it.
And then it was that once he got to the playoffs, and we said, it's never going to be Kareem's team again. This is going to be Magic's team.
Here's the interesting thing, too. We mentioned best player in the world. The guys you would, outside of LeBron, who else would you say? Giannis, Westbrook, Steph, Harden.
KD when he's healthy.
KD, take KD out because he's hurt. All of those guys are kind of similar in that, like Westbrook was a late bloomer. Harden, we saw him at Arizona State, but nobody could foresee this.
I didn't see Russ at UCLA like this.
No, Steph. I know you like Steph.
I like Steph. But if anybody tell you that Steph was going to change Steph is a generational transformative player. He got everybody shooting threes now. Ain't nobody trying to dunk.
Well, I did say he should be drafted number one over Blake.
But Skip, I don't think anybody thought Steph Curry would ever win an MVP, let alone be unanimous MVP.
Yep.
That tells me that now, if you have that, there's a threshold of physical ability you need, athleticism. If you have that, and you, with technology, weight training, coaching, the time, if you work that hard, you can become a special player.
Interesting. If you have the tools.
If you have the physical ability.
Can you imagine R.C. Buford, they don't pop? They like, God dang it, we had this guy, and we could have had him.
He knows better.
We could have had him for another 8 years.
That dynasty would have never ended. Never.
Guys, don't do this.
Now you're okay.
Jeez, Chris, thank you.
They did have KD and the Warriors down 23 in the first.
You made your point, Shannon. We're moving on.
No mercy.
Okay, after acquiring Michael Bennett from the Patriots, Jerry Jones said he was satisfied that Bennett knows how the Cowboys do things when it comes to standing for the national anthem. In the past, Bennett has either sat on the sideline or remained in the locker room, which he was doing this season in New England. Shannon, what do you think happens with Bennett Monday night when the Cowboys face the Giants?
Skip, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be surprised if he's out there because I think everybody understands the reasons why he's doing this. And I don't know if anything has changed from the time that he left New England till we arrived in Dallas that would make him all of a sudden come out and stand at attention. Now, there have been instances in which he stood Veterans Day weekend and the Salute to Service game happened on consecutive weekends. And so he was out for that. But other than that, Skip, he's remained in the locker room, and that was one of the choices that the NFL gave the players. It's like you could either, stay in the locker room. I don't even know, Skip, now. I don't really see a whole lot of times that they actually, the playing of the national anthem, I think they've kind of gone away, shied away from that a little bit. Yep. But for me, Skip, I don't know what has changed that would cause Michael Bennett to feel that, you know what, what I was staying in the locker room for has been addressed adequately enough, and so now I feel comfortable in doing this. I could be wrong. Jerry says he understands how they do it, but I'm thinking Jerry's saying that if they're out there, they're going to stand. But if he chooses to stay in the locker room, I wish Jerry would have offered some clarity. Yes, I talked to Michael, and Michael says he has no problem coming out for the national anthem, but we don't know that. So I will be a little surprised if he comes out.
I will be fascinated to see what happens because I've been around Michael Bennett enough times to know he believes what he believes with all his heart and soul and backbone. And his head can be hard when he decides this is the way it should be. Right. And I'm good with that. And I want to stress again, I was always good with the cause for which Colin Kaepernick and others began to protest back, what are we, 4 years?
2016.
Yeah,
wow.
2016.
Yeah, 2016.
Jerry Jones is the one owner who gave only one small concession to that cause. Do you remember before the Monday night game back, it's now 3 years ago, at Arizona, his one little nod to the cause was, let's all go out and lock arms, kneel.
That was in 2017.
Early 2017.
Yes.
And they all, here we can see it. And that was it. Jerry said, okay, that's all I'm going to do because the way we do it here in Dallas, Texas is we stand for the anthem.
Right.
And his leaders have backed him up on that.
Right.
Dak and Zeke have gone along with it and said, okay, that's the way we're going to do it here in Dallas. That doesn't mean they don't believe in the cause. They just say, we're not going to express our protest during the national anthem. But Michael has been not coming out for the anthem.
Right.
I have to believe that the sticking point in this trade was, are you or are you not going to come out for the anthem? And I got to believe, and Jerry hinted at it in his radio interview on his radio gig that he does in Dallas, that it's clear that Michael and his people, his representatives, made it clear to Jerry that he will come out and stand for the anthem, that was the caveat to the deal. That was the requirement in the deal. So I'm going to assume that Michael signed off on this, not contractually, but agreed to come out.
Yeah.
Now, would that surprise me? Yes, it would. If he doesn't, I think there's going to be a big clash, and I'm not sure he's going to be a Dallas Cowboy much longer if he decides to stay in the locker room on Monday night.
Yeah, I agree with you, Skip, but I'm just going to be surprised considering how steadfast he was and why he did this to begin with.
I totally agree.
And he was one of the four, once this thing started, he and his brother, it gained momentum. Now, Michael's father is retired military.
He is.
So he has the utmost respect. And I
True.
believe that's
Very good point.
I believe that's one of the reasons that he came out for Veterans Day and to salute the service was also it's the military, but to honor his father and the service that he's provided for this country. So it's going to be very interesting. That's something, and the funny thing is, Skip, I don't know if they're going to show it, so we'll be able to see it on Monday night, but I'm sure we'll get wind of what's going to transpire or what transpired at some point.
I would think so. I would think this would be a subplot to Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
And again, I believe, if I know Jerry Jones, this will be a deal breaker if he opts to stay in the locker room.
Okay, we'll have to wait and see.
No mercy.
How about these numbers? Aaron Rodgers has nearly 750 passing yards and 8 touchdowns in his last 2 games. Odds makers are rewarding the QB. According to Fox Bet, Rodgers is now a slight favorite to win MVP at plus 275 over Russell Wilson. So, Shannon, should Rodgers be the favorite?
Skip, right now, I still have him number 2 behind Russell Wilson. And remember yesterday, I said, Skip, they're running neck and neck. I said, they're running. I said, this thing coming out to the wire. And I don't know how much longer Russell's going to be able to hold him off because he's doing this right now. I mean, he's 4-0 without Devontae Adams. That's going to weigh into the voters' mind. He's doing it with Valdez-Scantling, who's a 5th rounder, and 3 undrafted free agents. And what we're starting to see is that vaunted defense that was so good early on, they're starting to show cracks. And so Aaron is having to get into shootouts. Aaron is having to throw for yardage, which, remember, you're an anonymous source. I don't know if he can do it anymore, you know what I'm saying? You can remain anonymous, but I need you to come out and give me that energy. The energy that you were unsure that Aaron can still do it, I need that energy. Come on out. Skip, when it's all said and done, Russell is 6-2, had a great season. But the thing is, Aaron is 7-1, they're leading that division. I think when it's all said and done, it's going to be really, really hard for Russell Wilson to withstand Aaron Rodgers because he's coming.
So, silly me, I think the other Aaron should be in the MVP race, but that's Aaron Jones because he's been carrying the Packers so far.
Nothing.
So, the new favorite for MVP in QBR, he ranks 8th in the league. It's not bad, but it's not MVP. Dak ranks 1st. Pro Football Focus ranks on performance so far up to date this year. Aaron Rodgers is 4th. That's pretty good, but it's not MVP. It goes Russell Wilson, Dak, and Wentz ahead of him. So MVP, I don't see it. Then I hark back to that Thursday night game against the vaunted Philadelphia Eagles. Last play, offensive play of the game for Green Bay.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers fails to see little Darius Shepard break wide open, as we see right here, for the game-winning touchdown toss, and instead he forces it to Valdez-Scantling for the game-ending interception. This is your MVP favorite right now.
Yeah.
Then the best performance of the year, says everybody, came against the Oakland Raiders defense, which went into that game ranked by Pro Football Focus dead last in the NFL, which leads me to the game the other night against the Chiefs, who are without 5 defensive starters on a not very good defense to start with Matt Moore at quarterback, and Aaron Rodgers pulled off the luckiest touchdown pass of the year. Could we see it again?
Yeah, I want you to see it.
Here it is. I'll no-look fall away, and I'll overthrow my intended target, Jimmy Graham, by 10 yards. Oh, wait. Thank you, God. It falls into Jamal Williams' breadbasket out of nowhere. Thank you. Look what I found, says Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
I don't know. And he was man enough to admit after the game, I was trying to throw it to Jimmy Graham.
Hey, this is what I know.
That's your MVP. Way to go.
Your guy.
Congratulations, Shannon.
The guy that you want to win MVP is 4-3. The guy that you want to win MVP.
I didn't say
Whoa.
I didn't say he was MVP.
No. The guy that you want to win the MVP has 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That guy that we just talked about is 16-2.
Yeah. Is that all you got to put it back on Dak? Yeah,
what?
That's the only way. It's your only loophole here.
Yes, you want to win. But at the end of the day, it's a stat award. You're not winning the award throwing 20 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Even if your team goes 14-2. That's not going to happen.
Stats are screaming that Aaron Jones is the new MVP frontrunner, right?
All of
he's playing. That's who's playing.
You see that throw?
Yeah. Which throw?
The one he hit Jamal.
I saw it. He overthrew Jimmy Graham by 10 yards. 10 yards.
It still looked good.
It looked good.
He said the wind actually helped him because it carried the ball even farther over.
I can even admit that.
Yeah, in the words of John Witherspoon, who passed this morning, rest in peace. Arrow was like, bang, 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 touchdown.
There you go.
No mercy.
Usain Bolt is the world's fastest man, and he might be eyeing a career off the track. Bolt told TMZ Sports that if the Patriots or Aaron Rodgers called him, he would be, quote, ready to go. So, Shannon, could he play in the NFL?
To go where, Skip? Are they going to be, are they going to be allowed to hit him?
Yeah.
Skip, you know goodwill. No, Usain Bolt cannot play no football, Skip. He doesn't skip. He's never caught a football. He's never been on a football field. His stride is too long. People just.
By the way, he's 6'5", 210, so he's got some size. He's a big target. I didn't realize how
tall he was. Yeah.
People automatically assume, well, he's fast or he's strong or he can play football. But there are subtleties to playing the game of football that unless you played, you will never understand. He will get broken up. Ask Ronaldo Nehemiah, who never played football because he could run fast.
He could hurdle.
And what happened, Skip? He ran through a zone. It was a zone. He should have sat down, and he kept running. And he got hit up on his chin, and he was never the same again.
That is true. There have been a whole lot of little wide receivers who ran track in college, but they all played college football.
Yeah.
They played high school football.
Tyreek Hill.
Right, there you go. And so they knew what it was like to catch a football and then get hit after you catch the football.
Yes.
Well, Bolt, he tried to play soccer, and I think he failed at that. And he says a lot of teams have asked him to play, but they're just asking him to come to camp and show us, right?
You know, it's interesting. That is it for us. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.